Gentlemen, you both know the rules. Obey my commands and protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves now. Come on, fighting at the bell.
Slava Spomer, who lives in Germany, is trained by Roy Jones Jr. It is their first fight together. They've been together in recent weeks. Roy says, I don't waste my time with just anybody. I put him through tough sparring. He can handle anything. We had a great visit with one of the all-time greats, guy obviously we've known for many, many years. And it's just so interesting to think that Slava landed in his lap in a situation like this.
Yeah, certain situations sometimes happen. Slava, it's always been his dream. He told us that he was a huge fan of Roy Jones, and he says now he's my trainer. However, what Roy said he liked about him was his toughness, his grit. That's what he liked about him, his determination. Tess, you can't teach that.
Nope.
You can't teach that. You gotta, it's in you. Right now, Spomer getting off to a quick start. You see how composed Xander Zayas is. He's comfortable inside the trenches. He's okay with fire with fire. He's okay with standing his ground at mid-range and inside. And there's blood already from the nose of Spomer.
He just came over the top with that left hand. There was also a long-range right hand. So some early blood, and you can see the blood coming right from the nose of Slava.
Yeah, nice head movement right there, changing slots, changing levels as well from Xander Zayas. Nice feint right there as well. Just breaking up his rhythm, not staying the same. Nice hook on the inside by him as well. Spomer right now, he's just having problems with just the activity of Xander. Nice uppercut on the inside. Yeah, that's a part of the game plan. That's when you know early on when you're able to, you see a fighter start to land punches. It's part of the game plan. It's punches that he's been working on. That uppercut, as Spomer tends to lean over that front knee, is what Xander is looking for.
The left hook went across the belt line, and he gets the warning from Charlie Fitch, the referee. Good start by Xander Zayas.
All controlled and good, and with that good jab and counter punching. Oh. Nice bump right there from Xander. Something he added to his arsenal.
There's a right hand from Xander. And tried to dig underneath with that left uppercut. This is a fine looking first round.
Xander getting off to a quick start.
He is.
But that's what I like about Xander. That's what makes him different. You know, in his division is his high work rate, high energy type of fighter. And he's defensively sound at the same time now. Perfectly thrown by him is he's left-handed. He's fighting orthodox, but he's left-handed, naturally left-handed.
And when you get that, when somebody's naturally left-handed, but they fight in that orthodox stand, man, that left hook, that jab, it becomes a real weapon. He landed 7 power punches in that first round. That left hand over the top, the best of them. But Javier Centeno, his trainer, who he's been with throughout his career, said, do not abandon the jab. By the way, he outlanded him 20-6 in that first round. So that means that Xander Zayas, who's never been outlanded by an opponent in terms of total punches, now through 92 professional rounds, an opponent has never outlanded Xander Zayas.
Wow. Yeah, that high work rate is going to win him a lot of fights. You know, when you have a high work rate like that, it puts fighters on the defensive.
Little access to let you hear from the legend Roy Jones Jr. as he's the trainer for the first fights together with Slava Spomer.
Yeah, it's obvious that Spomer has to close the distance. As long as he standing mid-range to outside, the quicker, the longer arms of Zayas is going to give him issues, going to give him problems. And even right there, that shows you how the looseness of Xander Zayas. As Spomer, he gets in the range he wants to get to, but he's throwing punches at the air. Xander is nowhere to be found. defense is taking Spomer completely out of the fight. Completely.
See both the footwork and the upper body movement from Zayas there. Spomer came forward. Coming to the end of 2, our co-feature prior to the world title fight. That distinct ceiling at the theater at Madison Square Garden, round number 3 of our co-feature. 2 undefeated fighters meeting up. All the promise and hype surrounding Xander Zayas. Spomer is generated.
Yeah, most people they think about punching power, but I think about the complete package. And that's the reason why I hold Shakur Stevenson high. Because defense, when you can't hit your opposition, I mean, haven't we learned Floyd Mayweather, one of the best defensive fighters of all time? He takes you completely out of the fight. And that's what you're seeing right now from Xander Zayas. But the thing that I like about Xander is that he's there actually to land his offense as well. He ain't running. He's not going anywhere. He's rolling and slipping underneath shots, landing counters.
And he's landing 34% of his
Look
punches.
at that. Nice uppercut on the inside. He's not running away from.
Good combination. He finished up with the right hand at the end of it.
Again, excellent in transition. He might not have that one-punch knockout power test. However, at least you get in the show. You get the show with Xander Zayas. And again, he's only 22 years old. Oh, he got hit with a big shot right there. Looping right hand.
Right hand comes in from Slava Spomer.
Yeah, Spomer said that he gets hit with right hands. He said that's the money punch for him. And he landed one just 10 seconds ago. Good body work by Spomer as well. Look, it's so obvious to see who's the more skillful fighter. That's Xander Zayas. You can see the toughness of Spomer. That's what usually has won him his fights. Letting his hands go and just having brute toughness to come forward and take whatever his opposition is giving him. But tonight, he has a slippery problem inside that ring with the defensive prowess of Xander Zayas. Good shots right there, Spomer. Ooh.
Xander Zayas against Slava Spomer, and you see the power punches and the body shot work of Zayas with a 20-2 advantage. He says this is the breakthrough fight for me.
Good
right hand from Xander.
Yeah, Spomer landed his own right hand as well. He landed one earlier during this round.
Got a piece of it with that left uppercut.
Yeah, obviously you see that Xander doesn't respect the power of Spomer. That's the reason why he's standing there and he's looking to take more risk inside that pocket. Spomer must not hit that hard.
See the full day of college basketball action tomorrow on ESPN. Between the top 2 teams in the country, Auburn and Alabama. The Iron Bowl on hardwood starting at 4 p.m. Eastern tomorrow.
Definitely it's the technical prowess and the skills of Xander, which is the difference. And Xander just seems like he's just much bigger. A lot bigger than Spomer.
Well, he always has that muscularity and that width across the shoulders and through the back. It'll be interesting to see where he ends up in his career as he advances himself and gets his full man strength to him. It's 154 pounds.
Break! No punches. Clean break. Clean break.
Probably 168.
Probing with that jab to the midsection.
Yeah, he's looking for a shot over the top. Oh. You see the roll under?
Yep.
Take care of that defense. And
doubled up the left hand there as well. Wow. Now he's finding a rhythm offensively.
And he's punching in between shots, Tess, which is hard to do.
There's
That's
a
next
willingness.
level.
Targeting the body, level changes, and he's having a really good finish to this 4th round down the stretch.
Really punishing Spomer right now.
He really is.
I don't know how much more Spomer's going to be able to take these shots like this if he continues. Referee, I'm sure, is going to look to stop this match.
Remember how much this means to Xander Zayas. He says at this stage of his career, closing in on big goals.
Oh! He got
that. You never know what's going to happen. Just when Xander was having his best work. Had the confidence, just let the hands go. Nothing's coming back. I mean, he threw 99 punches in the 4th round. He landed 41. 29 of them were power shots. He threw 65 power punches. Meanwhile, Spomer was extremely limited in that 4th round. He only had 4 total connects.
Yeah, that's fine. He was limited, Tess. Yeah, he was taking. He lined up Zayas right where he wanted him. That's the thing, the toughness of Spomer and that right hand. Another right hand over the top. Why is that right hand landing for Spomer? Well, look at the lead hand. The lead hand is down, first of all. And then anytime that Zayas really look for a shot, he's heavy on his front foot because he likes to load up with that left hook. That's his favorite punch. So he's there to be hit. And another low blow.
That's another low blow. Great job by Charlie Fitch in real time to look up to the big screen here at Madison Square Garden where we're showing our program feed and say, hey, can you show it again? And then to turn to the commission who gave him the answer he wanted to as well.
You always got to appreciate when you have someone that wants to do it right.
And then Roy Jones in the corner telling Slava, hey, take your time this time.
45, 5 rounds to nothing. Xander Zayas. Spomer is a good game fighter, just not as good or as big as Xander, who can do so much with that left hand.
Yeah, just to follow up the conversation about the low blows, by the way, Roy Jones Jr. did say to his charge, if he goes low again, you go right back out.
Eye for an eye. Eye for an eye. You don't know how much
change. This guy had 400 amateur fights. One of the most skilled fighters, of the generation. But there's a reason why you gain experience as a pro, right?
Come on.
Again, pulling the head down.
Yes.
He doesn't realize he's causing it.
And Charlie Fitch, the referee, told him that a round to go.
And I like how dominant that Charlie Fitch is being with his calls, because he's saying, stop playing. Stop playing with me. No, it didn't happen. And you see the fight is continuing. Now, if Charlie would have stepped in and said, oh, let me give you a break, then he would have milked it. Nope.
Those are good. Those are good.
Spomer wasn't as hurt as he was showing.
Combination from Xander.
The only way that I see, as of right now, Xander even coming close to losing this fight is if he just gets caught slipping. And it's going to be with a right hand.
There was that moment late in the 4th round where he got caught with the right hand.
Yeah. And and Xander, he hears the noise. There's no doubt about it. That's the reason why he was trying to finish the match earlier.
Zayas in complete control.
A technician. This young man always delivers, and he delivers in different fashions each time out.
Cleveland, Ohio. He's got nothing but time ahead of him, but yet you see his athleticism, you see his skill. You're like, I think you could put him in with like legit contenders right now, but obviously it doesn't need to be rushed.
Yeah, Javier Centeno says, I'm happy with Xander boxing his way to victory, but if we hurt him, we are going to go for the finish. Roy Jones Jr. on the other side says, look, I told my guy Slava, 60% is sharp. Don't load up on those punches because he's going to counter you.
Has a ton of experience, but when I watch him, every time I watch him, he doesn't get me off my feet. Like he's skillful, but I've seen.
Javier Centeno, the trainer for Xander Zayas, told him, let's push tempo a little bit, but at range, but let's push the tempo a little bit here as we've arrived at round 8.
In my last statement, I say that with all due respect. I like Xander. I like his skills, and I can say that I wasn't a sensational type of fighter. Like, it wasn't one thing that I did extremely well, and I didn't have a whole lot of punching power. And at 160 pounds, you gotta have some thump. You do. Or 154 pounds. You got to have some thump. Those guys can hit. Now, I believe Xander can compete. There's no doubt about it. He can compete against anybody in the weight class. There's no doubt about it. And I believe he's going to be a world champion. However, again, even with this performance, there's nothing that's really glaring at me and saying, wow, wow, wow.
When you self-assess, you feel like you had nothing that made people say, wow?
I mean, it was my determination. That was what it was.
That was A+++.
Yes, but I had speed like this.
Yes.
Put combinations together. You know, I wasn't a born fighter. I came forward just like Xander.
I sit next to you and I stare at a Hall of Fame ring and a diamond Rolex after 3 fights with Manny Pacquiao. And you're telling me that, okay.
Look, I'm not saying, but again, like, sensational is like what we saw with Abdullah Mason.
I understand.
Well, you're saying, wow.
Who would do anything to have your career resume, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. However, this is a very studious effort by Xander Zayas, showing his complete arsenal right now of his skill set. And it's obvious that he likes guys that are directly in front of him. This is where he soars the most, because he's able to put his defense and offense together. It's hard to fight a guy when you have to open him up, when you have to force him to fight you. My man Xander, look, he can do it off the jab. He can create as he goes, but this is where he soars, when guys that will let their hands go. Right.
And the target becomes available, and boy, has it been available.
And that hurt him. That's the shot right there. If Xander wants to end this fight, it's going to be from a body shot, a liver shot.
He's landed 72 of them in this fight so far. Of course, there have also been 2 low blows. He is really on the attack here effectively.
The end is near. You see Spomer protecting that body.
10 seconds to the bell.
There's a right hand behind the jab from Xander as well.
And again, with that offense, it's going to be tough to beat him. It really is. You're going to have to knock out Xander Zayas in order to beat him. Going down to the body, that's the key. Go downstairs. And he just might get the stoppage stuff.
Oh, he went downstairs there. Body shot clearly affected Slava. And now a lot of time to work with for Xander Zayas. Swept across that body with the left hand, and now Zayas is looking to close the show. Another body shot comes in. That is it. TKO victory, Xander Zayas.
This is the end of the fight right here. He's just pouring it on. Looking to open up a shot to be able to land something right there to the liver once again.
Of round number 9. For your winner by technical knockout, and still the NABF and NABO Junior Middleweight Champion, Xander Zayas.
He landed 86 body punches.
Ask him what separates you from other fighters your age and makes you think that you're going to translate your amateur success to a pro success. Number one thing he said, footwork, which I thought was very interesting. Zayas, I asked him, get a chance to watch that Robesi Ramirez debut where Ramirez disappointingly lost in the 4-round unanimous decision. He said he did. In the black and silver trunks, gets knocked down right in front of us. The first knockdown at the hands of the professional, Xander Zayas. How about that start, Bomac?
That's a good start for 17-year-old Xander.
It's a good start for anybody. Comes right back over the top with the right hand.
He's going to be looking for that right hand again.
And he goes down again. And Jay Nady calls the fight. Xander Zayas, the win in round number 1. exciting fighters under the top-ranked promotional banner. The first knockdown, which we had trouble seeing because it was literally blocked right in front of us, came from that straight right hand.
Yeah, I like the way how he galloped in. See how he galloped in? That he throws his jab, throws it more or less like a throwaway jab to set up the right hand, which was really great.
First knockdown of the career of Xander Zayas. Straight right hand right in front of Bob Arum, who you can see there.
He threw it around the glove this time. Set it up with the jab again. Right at. Look, I set it up with the jab, he was coming around the glove.
And then, just for good measure, the right hand to the body. And Jay Nady wasting no time, waving off the fight.
Jab, jab around. To the body.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Textbook.
Declaring the winner by way of technical knockout in his pro debut, the youngest ever, Xander Zayas.
And they get back in the gym, I'm
Xander
sure.
resides in Florida. He's from Puerto Rico, where he lived till he was 11 years old, grew up idolizing Miguel Cotto. He will come out firing against Virgil Winfield. Both wearing black trunks. Zayas with the silver trim and the turquoise hair. Good left to the body for Zayas.
Zayas is good using his jab, using his length. Has great hip movement, very quick, explosive. And he also likes to let his hands go, throw combinations.
He definitely has a baby face, working off the jab. Winfield in the corner. Straight right hand for Zayas. Overhand right, and that puts Winfield down on one knee.
3, 4, 5. Great use of range. 6, always back to the left jab.
8, 9.
Go ride the roller coaster, New York, New York.
Notice the use of length of Zayas. You know, he kept the distance, kept the man on the end of his punches where his power is. When you got long arms like that, you generally, the most power you're going to generate is on the end of the punch. You know, using that full kinetic chain of your body from punching from the floor. Xander did that so well. He found a home for the overhand right early in round number 1, went back to it, got the finish. I like everything I'm seeing. Using his jab, coming up and down, pins his man on the ropes, goes to the body.
Good left to the body, and an overhand right again. The second knockdown of the first round for Xander Zayas. That's it. Russell Mora calls off the fight. The second first round knockout. Mixing up his punching, working on the jab, hit the body.
Well, he did stick to one thing. He stuck to variety.
Winfield in no man's land in the corner.
Great job from the young Xander.
He keeps fighting like this, he's going to have a one name type of a profile. We won't be calling him Xander Zayas. You'll be calling him.
By way of technical knockout, still undefeated, Xander Zayas.
What makes this kid special?
Well, you see his physique. You see he's tall and rangy, but he can box. He's still very, very young. He's 18 years old, but you see a lot of potential. He's learning on the job. You know, some crazy amateur record and experience, so he's got to get it in real time in the professional ranks.
Had 132 amateur fights, won 118 of them. And this young man is fighting in Kissimmee, Florida for the 3rd time as a pro. He's out of Plantation, and he gets caught there with a nice right hand from Leighton. And he also lands a nice left hook here early in round number 1. And there's that left hook. Leighton's in the corner, he's pinned, and Zayas is going to work. And you hear the crowd, he said, I'm so happy because last time I had a crowd, it was in Puerto Rico, and this is just like Puerto Rico. Here they go.
Look at it.
And here it is. He puts him in the corner and
Zayas went right to work, and he was in range to be hit, but that's what happens when you're trying to get your big shots through. Zayas was comfortable there. He had his chin tucked. Boom. You see a big left hook. He had his opponent hurt. He capitalized on it. He went to the body, went back to the head. That's what you see veteran fighters doing. That shot right there. Beautiful shot. It's hard to clear your head when you get hit to the body, and then the opponent goes right back to the head. That was a perfect sequence, perfect range from Zayas. That's how you finish a guy.
You said it right there, Dre. Perfect range. You can see he's not smothering his shots right there. He's leaving a little room so he can extend with the right punches. That left hook snuck in there. The body shot was the most effective punch of that combination right there.
Referee Emil Lombardi calls a stop to this bout at 56 seconds of round number 1, declaring your winner by TKO, Xander Zayas.
And Zayas wants to make this dream come true against Alessio Mastronunzio, who is fighting in the U.S. for the first time ever. Bernardo soon alongside Timothy Bradley. We see the quick jab and left hook from Xander Zayas, and that right hand that puts Mastronunzio on his trunks.
Oh yeah, target practice. You see Xander Zayas stalking right there. You saw the lazy jab come over. Oh, the right hand is coming again. I see it. Just a bit off the mark right there.
Watch your heads.
Now it's a left hook from Zayas, who once again lands at close range.
Step back. Watch the hold.
Zayas said in sparring now, when he was sparring 12 and 10 rounds to get ready for an 8-round fight, the openings, I see them and I can capitalize. Before I had to wait for my father and my trainer, Javier Centeno, to call him out. You can see exactly that against Mastronunzio.
Right now, what we're witnessing is the future of top-ranked boxing. 19-year-old, sensational prospect.
Mastronunzio still throwing hard shots, even though he's getting busted up right now. That was about a 4-piece right there. Different shots, different angles. Uppers, overs. I'll be shocked if Nunzio gets out of this last round. This first round, excuse me.
I'll be shocked if he gets out of this minute.
Goodness.
It was almost a double knockdown. Referee and Mastronunzio there for Zayas. Danny Chavon in the middle of the action there. Zayas is just looking for that one shot to finish this fight. Nice left uppercut for Zayas. Oh, nice right from Mastronunzio.
He's catching a lot more than what he's throwing.
A nice right uppercut, overhand right from Zayas. It's target practice here against Mastronunzio in the first round. You see the patience and poise.
Listen, somebody better step in and save this man.
He's taking flush shots. Ref's got to really watch him. He's taking flush shots.
Legs are not there, and Zayas is making sure that he's going to continue clipping him, and that's the end of the fight. Another first-round knockout for Xander Zayas here at Madison Square Garden. This is how it ended, Dre.
Just beautiful poise, even with aggression. You mentioned it, Bernardo, how he's pressing forward, landing all the right shots. He's not just throwing like you see some prospects throw, right? He's landing shots. That was a place shot. He said, okay, let me try it again. Let me go around this time, because he kind of blocked the other one. And he did enough to get the referee to step in to stop the fight. But before then, he landed uppercut, left hook, flush shot. The ref could have probably stopped it a little sooner.
At 2 minutes, 52 seconds of round number 1, for your winner by technical knockout, Xander Zayas.
2 minutes and 52 seconds. Xander Zayas with the impressive victory.
You had your instructions in the dressing room. You both know what I expect. A clean championship fight. Just obey my commands and protect yourself at all times. Good luck.
I'm getting better, and I need wins like this to get me to the highest level.
And he also has an opponent that he's facing that had 2 months prepared for him.
Yes.
This isn't a short notice fight. This is a dangerous fight for the young Xander Zayas.
And Valenzuela told us, look, I've been in against real fighters, but these are the fights that make me better. And when I have a guy who pushes me to be better, he comes in with a mindset to win. I can catch him with a left hook and send him down.
So this is the clear 8-10 round for Xander Zayas.
Oh, that's a slip and then a right hook. And down goes Valenzuela Jr. again. And then the right hand landed when Valenzuela was in a vulnerable position.
Oh, he hurt him again with the jab.
That time, though, Xander Zayas lands clean, and it's from the nose, I think, and it rubs up on the glove.
Right.
Nice right hand there from Valenzuela. That's what you said we had to watch out for tonight. And Zayas very attentive. The eyes tell the story, as you mentioned early on in this fight, Tim. The irony is Valenzuela Jr. told us, look, my last opponent, Murtazaliev, was bigger and stronger than Xander, and I was able to take his shots well.
But if he sits on the outside and he tries to box, he's not going to win this fight.
Luis Alberto Lopez, the IBF champion, making the second defense.
And there's still a lot of fight left, but they wanted to see good defense. They wanted him to slow down the pace a bit. They wanted him to be able to pick his shots, be a complete professional.
Short
and
left
that's what
hook.
You're seeing tonight from Xander.
Short left hook there from Xander Zayas, Tim. And it's target practice at this time. And you know what it's like to see a man bleeding and how you want to go after him.
As he did there. Now Valenzuela, he has to do what he needs to do to try to get close and make this fight rough and tough for Xander Zayas.
In fighters, and you see Valenzuela pawing at that cut, and the blood on his gloves is now transferring to the face of Xander Zayas.
Even punches on top of the head are hard to stop bleeding.
Wouldn't be Mexican Independence Day weekend without a bloody crimson mask inside the ring. And tonight,
is his nose broken? Because you see there's so much blood there. He goes, I think it probably is.
Well, what we do know for sure, whether it's broken or not, there's a huge gash on the bridge of his nose that's not going to stop bleeding, especially if Zayas keeps targeting it with that jab. Valenzuela Jr. can get stopped at any time, and he gets clipped, and he uses the ropes to stay up here in the 4th round, and Zayas is going to work. Left hook from Xander Zayas. Another left hook doubles up the Xander Zayas. Now he goes downstairs. Valenzuela says, come on, and we will.
This fight's going to be stopped here shortly.
I agree with that. Nice left uppercut. The jab, there it is. It's going to be over.
That's it.
I mean, Valenzuela Jr., like a true warrior, wants to continue, but referee Mark Nelson says this fight is over.
For your winner by technical knockout, and still the NABO, NABF Junior Middleweight Champion, Xander Zayas!
But there's something that Top Rank saw in this young man out of Puerto Rico who moved to Plantation, Florida at age 11. Spoke with us at the fighter meetings.
Yeah, he's the youngest fighter signed to Top Rank in its 50-year history on the Top Rank staff. They know talent when they see it.
Of Jerry the Bull Martin, fought out of Philadelphia, and he said, look, I was born to be a boxer. His brother fought in the U.S. Navy team, also named Jerry Jr.
You have more pressure. You got the bright lights. You have the big promotional contract, and these guys just got to get lucky one time on the way up. It's just very difficult to recover from that.
Martin came up in the same gym as Jerome Boots Ennis, one of the best young contenders out there in the game today. So he's got great work with Jerome Ennis coming up over the years from a Philly fighter. Just like we know what we're going to get tonight in the main event. You know what to expect when the guy comes out of Philly.
Philly fighters have evolved. Philly fighters can fight when they need to fight, and they can also box.
Xander Zayas right there. Quick counter, making Martin miss.
Good shot right there from Martin. Left hook on the way in.
Quick combinations from Zayas. Ooh, the way he pivoted to look for that left hook. Come into his life when he was 10 years old and how that changed his perspective and outlook.
Yeah, it's a touching story, and it's you know, a fighter is always dangerous when he's fighting for something beyond himself. When he's bringing his family along with him, and he's saying, my father gets up every morning and works hard, and this motivates me to do the same.
Everybody finds it in a different way. And for Martin, it's the family pedigree. Yes. He comes from a boxing family, so there's nothing else you can do.
Come on, baby.
And what more motivation do you need? Coming in here is what we call the B side, the guy who's supposed to lose or maybe just give the prospect some work but not win. If that's not motivation.
Body work from Xander Zayas in those exchanges.
Yes.
And you see how he's digging. He left himself open, got countered with the right, but then he came right back.
For Zayas, is he's starting everything with the left jab, which is very hard for a young fighter early in his career to pick up, and he's picking it up very nicely.
I was in and out of boxing. I was about to just get out of the sport, and then this kid just came in at age 10, Dre. And I just saw a picture of you about that age not too long ago that you posted on Instagram. He said, this kid's charisma, he lit up the gym. There's something special about him.
Your fight fans don't realize how long fighters have actually been doing.
Yeah, Xander started at age 5, just to put that into perspective. Didn't move to the United States till he was 11 years old. Oh, nice 1-2 to the body, and then the overhand right to the head by Xander Zayas. Then he digs to the body.
But I'm not sure that that's in him.
Nice short left hook from Xander Zayas.
He's got to press the issue.
Xander has Martin against the ropes. Martin, very clean shots, though, because of the mobility and good defense of Martin.
Oh, he's landed some clean shots, Bernardo, trust me.
But he's decided to take the responsibility of my sister and myself, and he's turned us into great people. At 7 p.m. Eastern, or you can stay here on ESPN Plus and also catch the fight. So no excuse for missing this main event this evening.
For Martin, I'm not sure if he has this ability, like I said earlier, but he's got to make an adjustment. He's been at that range this whole fight, and he's been getting hit to the body and to the head, and he doesn't have any answers at that range. So he's got to close the distance on Zayas a little bit. He does that by coming behind his jabs. But it's trouble on the outside. I'm impressed with the range. I'm impressed with the punch selection. I'm impressed with the left hand. There's a lot to be impressed with tonight from this young fighter. He seems to be very focused while he's doing it.
Here he goes again. When you finish to the body, you give your opponent something to think about. Then he comes back with the 3-piece.
Good step around, good right hand, left hook. Good response from Martin. He's got to do more, though.
Ooh, nice uppercut, and then a left hook upstairs and then downstairs from Zayas.
That's the punch from Martin, the left hand.
Little low there with the left hand from Xander Zayas. He's already been warned by referee Tony Weeks, or the navel as the referees instructed. All right, so we got Miguel Berchelt defending his title against Oscar Valdez. You can expect offense, but you can also expect some ESPN Disney animation that allow us to put it into an animation for you to enjoy at home. Round 4 of a scheduled 6-round fight. Xander's only been the distance 1 time as a pro.
James Martin turned southpaw. Good body work right there from Zayas in the past, but I don't see him doing that tonight. Yeah, right-handed fighter only turns left-handed when they're comfortable and or when they don't have any answers and they're trying to create something.
Zayas creating all kinds of problems with that left hook to the body.
Man, but it started up top and he finished down low.
There goes that jab. Downstairs, upstairs. Let's see what he sets up here.
This would be a good time for Martin to tap into those Philly roots right now, because
doesn't matter if you put in good work if it doesn't reflect in the ring, but you can see that those lessons are learned in sparring as he lands another left hook here against Martin. Digs to the body once again.
Martin thought about going down on that one.
Yes. Zayas impressive, not breathing hard, so great conditioning from the young kid.
Get hit with a left hook, a flush left hook to the body, it makes you reassess why you even started boxing.
I wouldn't know, thankfully, but I'll take your word for it.
You start thinking, why am I in here?
You've delivered more of those than you've taken.
Right.
So Xander Zayas, you know, go to that gym and put in the hard work on the pads. Just like he did with Cotto, just like he did with Manny Pacquiao and so many before. Bernardo soon alongside Andre Ward. Glad you're here with us. Everybody will be on the mics for the next fight.
Yeah, I always get concerned when I see fighters get knockouts every single fight, because it's not if, it's when. When you need to go those later rounds, when you get hit and hurt and you have to respond, when you get tired and you have to find your second win, what do you have in you?
Yeah, this is the longest he's ever fought as a professional. Only Corey Champion took him the distance, 4 rounds, and that was in his 3rd professional fight. So, been a minute. There you see those quick combinations downstairs, upstairs from Xander.
Be tough with your offense. Be tough by taking the risk to try to hit this young fighter. Don't just take it. Like he just did right there with that overhand right. Oh my goodness. Big body shot.
We always look for those left hooks. There you see those quick hands from Martin. He's landing now on Zayas, so.
He's hitting you, Martin. You might as well try to hit him back.
That's it. Last 10 seconds of round number 5. We're all here in Vegas tonight for Berchelt Valdez.
Doesn't always translate.
That was brilliant, though. I'll give you that.
Thank you, brother.
Xander Zayas against Jay Martin. I asked Xander, where did that name come from? He said, there was these twins in Puerto Rico. So my father named me Xander in honor of the young kid who is no longer with us.
You're in the corner of Zayas after he's dominated the way he has, and it's the last round. You could ask him, in other words, keep doing what you're doing, but just pick it up a little bit. Just go out there and knock him out, but you don't survive in Philly gyms and in the Philly circuit by not knowing how to protect yourself and by not knowing how to survive, and he does know how to survive.
I want to step up my competition and win Prospect of the Year. And in 2022, I'm going to keep stepping up the competition and hopefully get ranked, sending out notice to that weight class as well. A big welterweight for being so young.
He's young. He's not going to be at this weight class very, very long.
Growth spurt physically and in terms of boxing. Imagine what that's going to be like. Yes. Nice stiff jab from Xander Zayas. Both guys slowing down a little bit here in round 6. Nice left hook from Martin. Body work from Zayas, and Martin not backing down.
He feels emboldened now because the fight's almost over. It's 30 seconds left, so he may try to throw some heavy leather in the next 25 seconds or so.
To just how much those body shots from Xander Zayas have taken out of Martin here, as we're 20 seconds away from the final bell. Decision fight for Xander Zayas. A lot of lessons learned by both fighters.
All 3 judges score the bout 60-54 for your winner by unanimous decision, Xander Zayas.
Patriot used to fight Antito Trinidad. Now he wants to be more Trinidad than Juanma Lopez, and he comes out firing here, Tim Bradley.
See that stick right out the gate? That's what I like to see from the young man. Check his balance out. Beautiful change in level right there with the jab already. About to set something big over the top.
Got the Smurf hairdo with that crazy blue, but it's all business once he steps into the ring.
He's kind of squat. If you're Zayas, you don't want to let him get started. You don't want him to gain any confidence. You know, you see young prospects like Zayas, and you know they're good. You just don't know how good. In each fight, we get to see how good he is little by little by little.
Nice body shot with the right from Friars.
Yeah, the left hook is his power shot. He has a really good right hand, but you see the double up right there with the left hook right in between the guards of Friars, and you see he's hurt there.
Had a lot of heat on it.
Did miss with that right hand, and this is where Xander becomes dangerous, those quick combinations, and when he's got you hurt, he knows how to finish.
Good, good well-placed body shot and left hook. Didn't load up on it, just turned it over.
Quick combination, the legs of Larry Friars are not all there. Ooh, nice shot to the body from Zayas. Just picking apart Larry Friars, and that left hook he just can't miss with. That's the one thing I'm trying to avoid in this fight.
Yeah, because he's planning for the future. That's what you got to prepare yourself for. It's not just about who you're fighting right now. The better you are in the pros later on.
Nice right hand from Friars. It looked like he may not finish round 1 on his feet, but He's able to do that if he can get to the final bell. Oof, big right hand from Zayas. It's going to be interesting to see what adjustments Larry Friars can make coming out for round number 2 against Zayas, who continues to show that he's got every tool in the arsenal.
Friars, clearly the smaller man, short arms.
You know, it's really tough, Dre, when you fight a disciplined fighter like Xander Zayas. Being 18 years old, you know, he has control of the range. He understands. Anytime Friars even try to look to throw a jab, look at the right hand right over the top. A beautiful shot right there by Friars. Exchanging with him. That's what he needs to do.
That's the only shot that Friars has, is to try to catch Zayas in the middle of his punches in an exchange. But for Xander Zayas, that's crazy. 7.5 inches. Probably got to feel like a 20-inch reach advantage to Friars right now.
Yeah, because you got to accumulate the speed also, calculate the speed on that punches.
Look at him getting mathematical. You got to apply the Pythagorean theorem. Nice quick combination there from Zayas, trying to be in this fight.
Well, he's Irish. He ain't going nowhere. He's tough.
Man, some of the toughest amateur fights of my career came from the Irish.
I got some of that Scottish and Irish in me too, so I know about it.
Experience something he hasn't had before.
Yeah, you got to realize, okay, this is my only shot, and you got to try to shoot your shot and keep trying that over and over and hope that you have some success. You can't just sit on the outside and get peppered all night.
Oh, low blow there from Zayas. Nice shot from Friars, but then he has to take return fire in exchange because he was so far out. I want to be a 3-time world champion, and I know I have to be destructive and impressive to get that shot. And Xander Zayas says, I want to be destructive and impressive too. That's what he's trying to do against Larry Friars.
See, Zayas is hitting Friars with clean shots up top, and you see Friars is fighting back. So what you want to do is you want to take your attention downstairs, because you know no fighter likes to get hit downstairs. Ooh, that back leg is hurt. Look at that leg.
Friars is in trouble here, and we know what a finisher Xander Zayas can be. Nice left hook from the young kid, and the 18-year-old has his opponent hurt, and he's holding on for dear life as Larry Friars. The back leg not responding. The 2 fists of Xander Zayas are, and in trouble is Larry Friars. Gets caught with the left hook, another left hook. Celestino is in there, and he's stopping the fight at just the right time as Xander Zayas gets a spectacular stoppage here in Las Vegas.
See, everything off the jab. Starting with the jab, that's fundamentally sound right there. Beautiful check hook right there. He saw Friars step in to try to attack. He clipped him right on the temple. Like I said, you saw the legs there. He saw him wobble. You know, you have to develop a killer instinct in boxing. You can see the young gun. He heard his man, and he went for the finish.
Yeah, I'm looking how it started, Dre. This is how it ends.
That's right, and I'm looking at the punches, but I'm also looking at the feet. His feet are always in position to generate maximum power and maximum leverage with his reach and his height. And that's why you see him getting clean headshots and body shots like that. Good stoppage.
Referee Celestino Ruiz calls a halt to this bout at 102 of round number 3. Declaring your winner by technical knockout, Xander Zayas.
Down, and it goes the other way, and he becomes a vicious beast. His first fight above a welterweight as Sanchez comes out with a looping left hand, wearing the gold trunks trimmed in white, and Xander Zayas with the multicolored trunks, sticking that jab and then going right downstairs.
Look at that, already reading the body, already seeing that Sanchez is leaning forward, throws the jab, and then slips underneath with the uppercut.
Patience early is going to be the key for Xander Zayas. It doesn't mean he can't let his offense go like you see him doing right now, but he has to be smart because Sanchez can't match Zayas punch for punch, so he's going to try to catch him in between those shots with a wild shot like he just tried right there.
Xander Zayas moving up to 152 pounds. He said the plan is to become the prospect of the year in 2021 and then to challenge for a world title at 154 pounds.
Already, you know what, I noticed Sanchez, he started with a left hook, he didn't start with a jab. So he must have some information on Xander Zayas because he just landed another left hook on Xander Zayas.
He probably just watched the tape, Tim.
Nice right hand, too, from Jose Luis Sanchez. Those Larry Fryer 3-round knockouts or those quick knockouts against the DeMarcus Layton, who was overmatched and he knocked out in 56 seconds. They do something for his record, but not for his, this is the type of challenge that's better.
Right. Starting out like that early on is not a bad thing because you got to get used to fighting without fights. A couple of those early is not a bad thing, but you're right. It's time for him to start making that turn around the corner and facing slightly tougher comp, and Sanchez is that comp.
Xander Zayas got hit with another left hook. I'm very focused on the right hand of Xander Zayas. Let me see if he can make that correction and actually lift that right hand up so those left hooks don't have a home.
And he keeps his left hand down, and Andre asked him, hey, are you going to do anything about that left hand? And he said, hey, I'm going to be myself. So at some point,
got to be careful with that.
Veteran fighters who can't match younger fighters speed for speed and punch for punch wants to prove that he's the next guy. So a guy like Sanchez will wait and try to catch him in between.
And a world champion. But to do that, he has to face Oscar Valdez on a night that he's motivated to be as best as he's ever been. And you see Zayas coming out with that left hook now, matching Sanchez punch for punch.
Sometimes when a young prospect is working his way up, gets a knockout, you don't know if that was the young fighter or was the competition just that weak. But with a guy like Sanchez, he comes from a fighting family. If you knock him out or beat him,
a veteran type of corner or a smart corner, he had his hands up on the ropes, cutting the circulation off on his arms. When you're in the corner, you want to be relaxed. You want your hands, between your legs. You want to be relaxed. The fact that he had him up, he cut off that circulation to his arms and his limbs, I should say.
I'm telling him, keep your eyes open, let him open up, catch him in between, catch him with a shot. He doesn't see, and every time you're inside, don't hold. Let your hands go and rough the younger fighter up and see how he responds.
So far, Xander responding pretty well because he's got the left eye inflamed, and it's thanks to that right hand that continues to find a home. And I don't know if that right hand didn't stun Sanchez.
I would like Sanchez. I would actually like, set up his jab to the head and also to the body, change levels with it to be able to set up his offense. He's kind of abandoning his jab at the moment, sitting right directly in front of Sanchez.
There's that stick. It's as if Xander was hearing you.
It'll make his job just a lot more easier.
Yeah, that's the 19-year-old youthfulness that you see in Zayas. He doesn't want to set it up. He wants to get straight to it. He's got to learn that as he keeps progressing and getting better because that two-fisted attack, especially early, can be very dangerous against certain competition.
He's digging to the body now is Xander Zayas. Nice right cross there from Sanchez, getting off first. Sanchez does a lot better when he is not countering and he's beating Xander to the punch.
Well, he's catching him in between the shots. He punches with Zayas, so he will get hit, but he'll also put himself in position to land a good shot like we just saw.
Tonight's main event features a situation we didn't expect. Oscar Valdez testing positive for fentanyl.
No other possibility but me winning the title this evening.
Got two fighters with winning mentalities in our main event, Oscar Valdez and Robson Conceição. And 16 landed jabs compared to only one from Sanchez, who's had success with the lead left hook. Sometimes it's those fundamentals that take you to victory. This is a firefight here in round 3.
And that body shot right there from Xander Zayas got the attention of Sanchez right now.
Oh, now a left hook to the chin, and the legs of Sanchez are starting to get unsteady as the onslaught of punches from Zayas continues to flow. Big uppercut. Now it's just a flurry of punches from the young prospect who's letting loose. But here comes a left hook from Sanchez, who's still dangerous off the ropes. They call him Guerro, which means war. And he's getting a war from Xander Zayas.
You can be an amazing person, but that character has to translate into the ring when things start to not go your way. Now, that's not the case tonight for Zayas, but we'll see. Sanchez has a lot of rounds left. Let's see if he can turn the tide by putting pressure.
Yep, punch yourself out a little bit, taking some time right now to reload the clip.
That left of Sanchez once again finding the home on the chin of Zayas, who still is keeping his hands down. But then that left from Xander Zayas keeps Sanchez at bay.
He is feeling the effects of his body shots.
Yeah, but he's got to press, though, because when Zayas is fresh, good shot right there.
There it is.
Go ahead and finish your thought, Dre.
No, I want to watch this. This is a good moment. I want to watch this.
Oh, big right hand from Sanchez. Zayas lets loose, and he just misses and goes down.
Ooh, beautiful shot right there by Xander Zayas.
Or no official knockdown.
You know what you're seeing right now? You're seeing that Puerto Rican blood. That's what you're seeing from Xander Zayas right now. He's willing to engage and take Sanchez's best to give his.
But his chin is right there. Sanchez is still trying to hit it.
And you know why Sanchez looks like he's hurt? Did Zayas.
Those are the shots right there that Sanchez is looking for. You know, when you're in there with a veteran type of fighter like Sanchez, he's looking for the young man to make a mistake. And I'm going to loop something over the top. Zayas got to be careful with that. He has to stay low like he just did right there.
Sanchez now moving his attack to Zayas' body.
It's hard to slow a 19-year-old down, especially when he's been as dominant as Xander Zayas in this fight. But you got to tell your fighter, slow down, take a round off, and then pick it back up in the fifth.
You see that body shot and overhand right from Sanchez, but then there's that 1-2, efficient, precise, and powerful from Zayas.
Jose Sanchez is dangerous every second of this fight until it's over.
See, these are the times where the young fighter, they need to learn patience, patience, patience. It's okay to take some shots on the glove. It's okay to play defense and block shots to set up your offense and also to get rest. This is one thing that Xander Zayas still has to learn.
And he has to learn to keep that left hand up because he's taken several right hands from Sanchez that from a more disciplined or powerful puncher could be trouble.
Well, Xander's still recovering, Bernardo. He's tired from the last round, and he thinks because he's young, he has to keep fighting when he could take this round off, build up points.
This fight's been fought at a fast pace, and it's hot out here. So you know these boys' legs are feeling it. Feeling like jelly. Beautiful shot.
It's fatigue, guys. It's fatigue. It's fatigue. He threw a lot of punches in the third round, and that takes 2 or 3 rounds sometimes to recover from. He's learning that right now in real time.
I agree with that. Being a 19-year-old, he's like a rattlesnake, but a baby rattlesnake. They just spit that venom out. They don't know how to control it.
That's why they're most dangerous when they strike. But now he's got to pace himself, and he's in this fight because he's got power too.
Good body shots right there in the inside, but Xander keeping his distance, pushing off at the right time to get a little space and then coming around the elbows of Sanchez down to the body.
You can see the fatigue on Xander when he throws his offense. He doesn't have that same pop he had in the first 2 rounds. Sanchez has to recognize that, push himself, and push the young fighter by throwing more punches.
One of the things we asked Xander about moving up in weight is, do you feel as quick? Do you feel as strong? And sometimes you move up in weight and you feel stronger, but the guys can take a bigger punch too.
That right hand is going to find a home. Xander needs to be careful. That right hand will find a home.
There it is.
Say it again, fellas. Sanchez is dangerous until this fight is over.
Especially if Xander keeps that left hand down, stays in range, that right hand of Sanchez is there.
Beautiful shots right there by Xander.
But it's back to basics. That's when he's at his best. There's a nice feint right and left uppercut.
See how he slowed the pace down? He's slowing the pace down because now Xander is going on the defense now. You know, he's blocking shots, he's taking shots on, he's allowing Sanchez.
136 total landed for Xander Zayas out of 369. 51 of 161 landed for his opponent. And in terms of power punches, you see exactly how the advantage favors Xander.
Looks like Xander's starting to pick up the pace just a tad bit. Got his legs underneath him. He's moving well. A little bit more snap on his punches. Maybe he's caught a second win by now. Beautiful combinations right there. See, this is being a pro. This is being a pro. This is what I'm talking about, maturity as a young fighter. No, he's not moving around the ring. He's not dancing around the ring. And he's also dishing it. He's okay with staying inside the pocket or staying mid-range with guys.
There's that big right hand from Xander Zayas, sending Sanchez reeling backwards towards the corner, and Zayas is going to do some work.
Xander's is being a doctor right now. Surgically taking apart Sanchez.
Sanchez can survive this. He's going to try to make his push at the last minute and 30-second mark in this round.
Zayas has a real opponent in front of him. He's fighting in 100-degree weathers here in Tucson, Arizona, outdoors, not in front of his hometown, but nonetheless, he's learning on the job as he puts a three-piece together here on Sanchez.
Ooh, nice roll, shoulder roll right there.
Ooh, look at the nose of Sanchez now bleeding after that combination. Nice left hook to the body.
Not going to help that case. Yeah, the hot weather's not going to help that nosebleed at all.
Oh, what a big left hand from Xander Zayas. He hurts Sanchez once again, and he's on the brink. What heart Sanchez has shown, but his legs are wobbly. His head is getting pummeled, and Zayas has one objective here, and that's finishing the fight. Sanchez comes from a family that doesn't lie down in the ring. You've got to earn it, Dre.
You have a guy that's weakening like this, busted up face, just start placing your punches on him. You don't have to load up with every shot, just place your shots on him.
Place a beautiful left hook there, did Xander Zayas, but we're going to hear the final bell. 6 rounds in the books for Xander Zayas, who should get the win against a very game.
For your winner by unanimous decision, Xander Zayas!
You walk away saying he handles it well. He can handle all of it well.
Yeah, Xander Zayas is almost too good to be true when you talk to him because he checks all the boxes. The only boxes he hasn't had an opportunity to check are in the ring. How does he deal with major adversity, getting stunned or knocked down or being in a tough fight? If he can answer those questions in due time.
See, sometimes it's just not about the fighting or the fighter that he's facing inside the ring. Sometimes it's about getting used to the big atmosphere. You know, being on a big stage and do well in this fight, he moves on.
Yeah, to your point, I mean, here he is now, a major city, major NBA arena, national TV card. You fight after the Ali name, you fight right before the world title fight. These are all steps. These are all further bricks in the foundation. Carpency's coming off a long layoff, Timmy, a year and 8 months.
You know, worry about when he was coming into this fight. I asked him, I said, well, how do you feel? He said, I feel great. He says, I have a ton of experience. You know, I get really good training. But, you know, I had 5 weeks to get ready for this fight.
Oh, nice combination there, doubling up the jab with Xander.
And Carpency cannot deal with Xander Zayas punch for punch. He's got to try to land a shot. He's got to try to sneak something in there and hope that Zayas either falls asleep or he catches Xander Zayas in between his shots, and it's probably the right hand that Carpency's looking for.
Uppercut in the mix there.
His variation in combinations is fantastic. He follows the body. We call that reading in boxing. When you're able to see, then you lift him up with the uppercut. Beautiful work by Xander.
Yeah, there's a next level nuance to what you described, Timmy, and we're already seeing in round number 1.
Hey, that's beautiful. That was one thing that was missing in this game, and he's starting to apply some foot feints. That's beautiful work right there. Got his man to throw. He came underneath with 2 body shots.
Very sharp opening round. Very, very sharp opening round from a very active and busy who is undefeated and seeking to become a 2-division Mel Herring, the retired U.S. Marine, who's the WBO junior lightweight world champion. He's overcome so much adversity in his career.
And again, Carpency's only opportunity is to try to land a big shot in between the combinations of Zayas, or to catch him falling asleep and land that same right.
10 seats away from us right now. All the celebs are out to see this world title fight tonight.
The next phase, and Xander, good shot right there to the body, to the head from Zayas.
How about that left hand to the body? That angle he took to land the left hand to the body was something.
I'm looking for patience from Xander. I know he got his man hurt, but this is one thing that he said he worked on was patience, even though he got his man hurt. And he's doing the right thing by going down to the body to bring those hands down of Carpency.
Brother's a 2-time light heavyweight title challenger, Tommy. Danny's never been stopped.
The right hand to the head, excuse me, the left hook to the head to follow. You see those kind of shots from fighters well into their careers. We're seeing it early for Xander Zayas right now.
Look at the transition from offense to defense. Oh my goodness.
This kid is talented.
Yes, he is.
I mean, this kid is really talented.
What jumped out at me in that sequence was not the body shots, guys, but he dropped down, his head was low, and his chin was not in the air. He was protected while he was ripping those shots. And that's something we didn't see in his last fight, so we're seeing some improvement here tonight.
He's not. He's been very defensive. You know, he's not just throwing caution to the wind. He's taking his time. He's thinking inside the ring, and he's making Xander Zayas earn.
11-year age gap between these two fighters. South Florida's Xander Zayas, 19 years old, has been placing that left hand to the body.
Tess, it's a huge difference between taking advantage, but it's a different level when you make him make mistakes and make him pay. That's what we're seeing from young Xander right now. You force him.
Carpency is tough as they come, and he's the kind of guy when you fight him, you got to bring your lunch pail, because he's basically saying, I may not be as skillful as you, I don't have the speed you have, but I'm not going to lay down easy.
Listen, the guy grew up in Western PA with 2 other fighting brothers and works in a prison. And he's been a pro for a long time, and he's never been taken out.
That's right.
Never been stopped. You see the notice there of Saturday, November 20th. It is Terrence Bud Crawford, who many have #1 on the pound-for-pound list. Dre, I know you do. Against Sean Porter, the former champion. Bud Crawford has been looking for that pay-per-view. Will be exclusively on ESPN Plus November 20th. Can't wait for that. Of course, Bud Crawford plays a key role in tonight's world title fight. Shakur Stevenson considers him a mentor and older brother.
I'll tell you one thing about Xander Zayas. I'll tell you one thing I don't like. I don't like all that hollering. I mean, that's amateurish. He needs to let that go. That's telling your opponent when you're going to throw.
I don't see Carpency moving out of the way much, Timmy. He's tracking him down. What a beatdown at the end.
You may wonder why a guy like Carpency is taking this kind of punishment. If you're sitting at home saying, well, why don't you just go down and it'll be over with. Good shot right there. Carpency comes from a fighting family, and it's pride.
You can see redness and swelling around the eyes, around the brow of Carpency. World title fight coming up, immediately flowing by Xander Zayas.
Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful work right there. Nice little push off right there.
You know, that's the shot that's going to do it. It's going to be a body shot, because Carpency's one of those guys that can take the headshots all night long. That gets Carpency out of there if he goes at all.
He's already landed 27 clean body punches to this point, halfway through round 4.
Bring him out.
Bruising under the right eye, above the left eye, and redness around the flank. Tough way to earn a paycheck. Headshot comes in, and there's the left hand to the body.
Yes, to the solar plex. That hurt. You see Carpency getting on his bike, trying to get a breath. Let's see if Zayas can get another shot in there.
Never been stopped, Carpency, never.
Beautiful shot by Xander Zayas. How he set up that body shot.
Ref's got to keep a close eye on Carpency.
His father's the trainer in the corner, and I think
That's it.
Declaring your winner by technical knockout, Xander Zayas!
Because I remember down when he was in Florida, I remember he was fighting in front of a large crowd where he resides, and he came out and he got hit with some shots, and he was a little bit
It's going to be a good test for Zayas to be patient and to not rush his punches, to not rush the game plan. The crowd is eager. They're on the edge of their seat. They're waiting for an explosion from him. And he's got to set it up and be disciplined. And if he does that, it might come.
You know, so many fight cards were restricted and canceled and postponed, and then all of a sudden there were the bubble guys who were fighting often.
Yes, he did. A few minutes before that angle, Lavalise landed a good right body shot as well.
That long striding jab.
And he's going to be okay.
Xander's pulled the trigger on attempting that right uppercut a couple of times as we come to the end of round one, watching the 19-year-old Xander Zayas against Quincy Lavalise.
This isn't something that's, you know, crazy or some sort of anomaly. I think it's fine. Zayas is in earshot of his trainer, so all is well.
Good exchange here. As Lavalise trying to hut, there's an uppercut that does rain in. Remember, he was trying to target that in the first round.
Good patience from Zayas and good body work, which is keeping Lavalise honest and is allowing Zayas to get the headshots that he wants.
Took an angle and landed the left hand. Now a combination. Look at Xander Zayas. Lavalise has been pinned against the ropes. And now he wiggles the shoulders right in his face as Zayas continues to pepper him.
Tess, that's not going to win you fights, wiggling and stuff carrying on. He needs to let his hands go.
Thudding right hand to the temple.
Lavalise has yet to throw a punch right now. The referee could be stepping in and stopping this match right now.
Split the guard moments ago with a right hand that came right down the middle. Uppercut rings in. Left hook rings in. Xander Zayas, headshot after headshot. Left hook again. Look at this series as he nearly puts him through the ropes. And Lavalise stands up to it somehow.
Here come punches up.
Lavalise has never been knocked out.
What I want to see from Xander Zayas is I need to see more feints. He got the jab going. Give me some more feints. If he uses the feints, then he'll be able to open up more offense for himself.
That's not easy to do. You have veterans that fall in with their body work, smother their work, and they're not as efficient, and they don't keep the leverage with the body shot. But Zayas has found that sweet spot where he can get the body shot off, get maximum power, but be out of range for the counter.
There's that right uppercut coming off the jab, and then a short right hand upstairs. Bernardo, what are they saying in the corner of Quincy Lavalise?
Felix Malispin is saying that he feels that this is a moment that Lavalise has to pick it up because they saw how many punches Xander threw in the last round.
And Chess, that's exactly what we've been saying. Lavalise has to silence that voice in his head that's trying to convince him that a win is going the distance.
Throw those hands, man. Throw those hands.
10 seconds.
Talking all that stuff in the fighter means that he's going to win this fight, but he's not letting his hands go.
Just ate another right hand upstairs. But this is a guy who started his career in a way that got so much attention, so much mainstream attention, 16 straight first-round knockouts. But does it serve you well long-term? Tonight, we write the next chapter for Edgar Berlanga. He goes up against Steve Rolls. That's coming up in moments. Round 5 scheduled for 8 with Xander Zayas in control against Quincy Lavalise. 116 out of 279 punches landed to this point.
Creating that opening.
There he goes again. 3-punch combination that finishes with the left hand. Xander meets him underneath.
Beautiful work on the inside. Getting his head on the outside of the shoulders. Wide base. Staying relaxed in the inside.
Eyeing and watching what Lavalise is going to do, and now he's turning the tide, and he's got Lavalise with his back to the rope. Good body shot right there.
Nothing right in the right arm, Dre.
It's a lot for Lavalise to deal with because one minute he thinks he can come forward, and the next minute.
Lavalise is very slippery inside the ring. I know
that was good right hand. Ooh, good right hand, then wraps around the left hand, places another headshot. How Lavalise has been standing up to some of these shots is unbelievable as Zayas is hitting flush. This is a lot of punishment, Dre, a lot of punishment. Tough guy, never been knocked down, never been stopped, but look at this. Bent over and absorbing headshots. Straight right hand comes in.
Trying to beat the fight out of Lavalise.
Lavalise is not only hurt, but he's weak. You can get inside. You feel the opponent's body. His strength is not what it was in the early part of the round. To the head. So they got to keep a close eye and respect to Lavalise because he's not winning this fight, but he certainly hasn't given up. What Lavalise should have been doing throughout this whole fight. Being willing to get hit, but trying to counter and making the young fighter Zayas pay. Lavalise is not a bad fighter. He can fight. He's just being outclassed, outmanned, and outskilled by Xander Zayas tonight.
It was right on the belt.
What are you going to do? And I'm talking about Lavalise. He's not doing what he set out and said he was going to do.
Shoe shining downstairs and then pressing it upstairs. And now opening up with right hands and willing to trade with Zayas in the middle of the ring.
Quincy Lavalise is tough, fellas.
He is tough, and he can take. But this guy can give. Xander Zayas is willing to give it. Lavalise is tough, but he has taken some punishment tonight. Final punch stats are going to be off the charts for an 8-round effort from Xander Zayas. Right to the bell.
Good job.
For your winner by unanimous decision, Xander Zayas.
He was supposed to fight back at Madison Square Garden on the weekend of the Puerto Rican Day Parade, but he had a viral infection after training in Australia for the better part of May.
You know, him crying, talking to his fans, apologizing to his fans, but this comes with the sport, man. You know, it's a learning experience for him, and I'm sure.
And I want to see how Xander Zayas responds.
Espada's a 10-year pro.
Without cabeza.
Oh! Look at Xander Zayas! First round knockdown!
Check out this nasty slot change by Xander right there. Opponent would throw a last in your head. You see the right hand right there? Mixed from his opposition, Espada. But then the left hook comes right down the middle, turned it right over.
Healthy, freshened, ready, and let's see if he can put on an early show. Zayas calmly stalking his prey now against the veteran Mexican fighter. 22 wins deep into the career of the 31-year-old who gets floored. Goes to the body after throwing the uppercut to Xander.
Those body shots hurt.
Goes to the body again after that 4-punch combination.
Xander setting up that left hook up top. He's bringing that right hand. Look at the right hand, the backhand coming down.
There it is, left hook, straight right.
Xander rushing his offense a little bit, got caught in the spot right there. Needs to take his time. He's looking for the knockout. He needs to let the fight develop.
1-2 with the right hand that hit. There it goes again.
A little left hook.
Oh. That's
The
one thing.
50-50 exchanges that Xander Zayas is clearly getting the better of, but he's also in range to be hit.
No doubt about it. Got to watch out for that right hand of Espadas. We're going to take a short break, come back, show you that replay of the knockdown scored by the 19-year-old sensation, Xander Zayas. Xander Zayas, who will turn 20 next month, signed a promotional contract with Top Rank when he was only 16 years old.
He's been in 50-50 exchanges the whole first round, got the better of it, but Espada has just missed a few good shots himself.
18 power punches landed in that first round for Xander. Espadas also lives in South Florida, native of Mexico. That's when he first started fighting as a pro with that unique look. Goes to the body again. Already received a few warnings from Russell Mora in round one.
But the thing that I like about Zayas is he's an aggressive counterpuncher. You know, he'll fight off the jab, but he throws combinations. He's very active. He throws about 70 punches a round. That's well above the average at this weight class.
Oh. Gonna time that right hand and then finish with the left hook. Sweeps with it again.
Those 50-50 exchanges are dangerous. But Xander feels he can take it. And he's also getting his head off the line when he shoots that right hand. So he's not getting that return fire. There it is again. It's great technique by Xander Zayas.
Goes in that range with the jab.
Espada trying to take the jab away from Xander. He's looking for that right hand. He landed it twice right there.
He did. Short right hand on the inside. Trying to time these exchanges as well. Boy, entertaining stuff early on here, isn't it? End of two. Don't go anywhere. Of course, the power punching is what has opened our eyes early on in the career of Zayas. He lands over 50% of his power punches. Tonight he's hovering right around 44% early on.
And Joe, he feels like he wants to sit there and trade because he's growing, he's getting bigger, and he feels strong. And when you're young and you feel strong, sometimes you want to do what Zayas is doing, stand there and fight.
Bernardo, what are they saying in the corner of Espadas?
They're saying he needs to be cautious, but he needs to double up on the jab, throw combinations, and land his right.
We're going for Vasily Lomachenko, and they conquered that. There's a combination again, left hook, right hand from Zayas. And a good stiff jab from Xander. Another two-punch combination that lands flush.
Espada always catches Zayas either coming in or going out irresponsibly.
Espada right now getting teed off on. Every time he has a low in his offense, he's getting clipped. Mean 1-2 right there down the middle.
And then every now and again sneak attack him, get into a 50-50 exchange, and then rinse and repeat. If he continues to fight Zayas the way that he did he won't see the distance. Lulling Zayas to sleep ever so slightly and trying to get it in, but fire with fire is not the fight for Espada.
Espada's right in the kitchen, trying to return some fire. Elias Espadas, knockdown was scored in round number one. Xander, when he was 6 years old, had his first amateur fight. It was right next to the gym owned by Tito Trinidad, the great legendary Tito Trinidad, who came to see him fight. In fact, he beat one of Tito's gym fighters. And Tito had his day, and Cotto had his day, and then everybody was saying, who's the next great Puerto Rican star, right? It was Felix Verdejo was thought to be that guy, the Olympian, and then in recent years, the big first-round knockout streak of Edgar Berlanga. But it's becoming apparent to many that Xander has the best chance to be the man.
Tess, he's an exciting fighter. You see the volume. He's a technician, aggressive counterpuncher. He's very entertaining as a young man, you know, and he's strong. And he's
left hook can do that.
Just spoke to Javier Centeno. He says it's all right if he can't go to the body. He's going to continue to find his range. He's got a left hook from the outside. He's looking sharp, but he just cannot sit there and exchange with him.
But they were most recently in Australia because he's also the trainer for George Kambosos. So the connectivity to Teofimo Lopez. And now you see him returning passionately and aggressively right from the start here tonight in Vegas.
Want to see Zayas pick up that jab. He's had good success in these exchanges. He's gotten caught a few times, but in the dead periods, when Espada's moving away, he needs to be using that jab. You can still beat your opponent up from long range while you're out of range, and that'll help you get in range to get the big shots that you want to get. He's got to pick the left hand up.
Scheduled for 8, coming to the halfway mark of our co-feature, and then it is the return of Teofimo. You think about those stages of development for a young prospect like Xander Zayas, and you can take some leaps forward, obviously, when you're dealing with this level of talent and athleticism and skill. Oh! And that proves it. And that's over. And let the celebration begin for now the 10th knockout for Xander with an X, and X just marked the spot.
Look at this setup right here. Xander Zayas. Beautiful setup. Off the jab, hook, then right hand, looping right hand. Boom. Ran right into it. Espada was trying to exit. Kept that lead hand down as he was trying to get away. Right hand, right on the chin, sending Espada to the canvas. Beautiful shot right there on the chin, right on the money from Xander Zayas.
Now Zayas led and he countered in this sequence right here. And you see him go to the left with the jab, and Espada thought he was out of trouble, but he didn't know that a looping right hand from Xander Zayas is on the way, was going to hit him right on the button, put him on the seat of his pants, and boom, just like that. That happened in a split second, but it was all set up by a two-punch combination.
For your winner by technical knockout, and now the NABO Junior Middleweight Champion, Xander Zayas.
All right, guys, you received your instructions earlier. As a reminder, obey my commands at all times, protect yourself at all times. Touch him up. Good luck.
Tim, what does he possess that has you so high on him? I just saw the graphic moments ago. You got your double stamp list in terms of prospect. He's number 2 on your best prospects list.
Yes, he is. But he's great after his offense. Defensively, you see him roll under shots, and he'll still be placing body shots and little right hands over the top as he's moving.
He's a veteran in the sport. He's got a good team with Freddie Roach. They had a good game plan, it seemed like, in our fighter meeting, but you know, the execution, again, is what needs to be done. He is definitely outgunned. Be smart when he's on the outside boxing, and then try to rough Xander up on the inside and hit him to the body.
Keep him in front. Keep him in front.
Salazar coming in behind that jab.
Yes, and he does possess a really good right hand. But you see that position right there that he gets in.
Leaning
that no
to the
man's
right.
land. Yeah, leaning to the right.
Well, because he wants the right hand, the right uppercut, the right sweeping hook, and the straight right.
Yeah, but he set himself up to be hit with the left hook of Xander, which is his best punch.
4-punch combination from Zayas.
Yep.
Oh, and he scores the knockdown there. That should be a technical knockdown. The ropes absolutely held Salazar up, and yet Harvey Dock did not rule it a knockdown. So they fight on. But the big power shot sent him flying, and only the ropes held him up there.
Yes, it was a beautiful sweeping left hook by Xander. I don't know if Salazar was off balance in the process, but landed flush, and you saw the reaction.
And there was a left uppercut moments ago. So a big left hook, signature punch of round number 1.
Keep him in front. Stop. Stop.
He's had highlight reel moments on Heisman night in the past. What will he offer up in our main event? Total punches in the first round. Zayas a 20-11 connect advantage. 15 of those were power punches.
Nice stab jab down to the body. That opened up the combinations up top. You know what will help Salazar is the jab. Every time he uses the jab, he finds a home for it.
Xander originally from San Juan, lives in Plantation, Florida, just outside Fort Lauderdale.
Zayas has to be mindful coming out of a clinch because he's relaxing on the way out, and Salazar is looking for a big shot.
To the outside of that lead foot with his back foot to be able to have a better angle to land that right hand on the ear of Salazar, and also set up his left hook either to the head or to the body.
The young fighter has to stay alert at all times. Salazar has to trust himself more. He's got to throw if he's going to land, and he's not throwing enough to put himself in a position to land anything significant.
Well, I'm expecting Salazar to come over.
Right there from Zayas. Salazar comes behind that jab, like you said, maybe that overhand right lands.
Oh, nice short left hook in the inside for Salazar.
Round number 3 here with Zayas and Salazar. Salazar found a moment of success at the end of round 2, but he's being outworked. 32-20 is the connect advantage for Zayas.
But Salazar lands when he throws. Zayas has still not learned how to take his head off the line. He still keeps his head right where it was when he started to punch, and if you throw, you can land, and that's what Salazar has to continue to try to do.
Dre, he's at mid-range and standing straight up on that line of fire.
Bernardo, you're listening to the Hall of Famer in the corner of Salazar.
And I need him to back up Xander because he can't allow this young kid to back him up.
Zayas has to learn how to punch and then roll to the left or the right, or step out at an angle with that left hand high just in case the opponent wants to throw.
Nice big shot.
Left hook follows it up with straight right. Two-punch combination, right hand lands for Zayas.
But you make your body less of a target when you angle your body out like Salazar's doing.
That's where Xander needs to stay, is down low, downstairs.
Yes. Well, when you really think about it, what's the biggest part on the body? It's the body. It's the biggest part. Hit the body, especially when the head's gonna move.
Heavyweights are coming up next. Jared Anderson. A week ago right now, this crew was in London to watch the heavyweight champion Tyson Fury put on a show in front of 65,000. In moments, we're going to see Jared Anderson, who at one point was Tyson Fury's sparring partner. The more recent label is Next Great Heavyweight. He's 12 for 12, starting his career with 12 knockouts. He'll be up against the veteran Jerry Forrest in moments.
Keep him up, keep him up.
See Zayas get hit on the way out the door again, and not being mindful that his opponent is going to throw back. He knows that the onus and the burden is on Zayas to please this crowd. He understands the assignment, so he's allowing Zayas to take the risk in hopes that he goes to sleep or makes a mistake to try to counter.
He fights for the crowd or with the crowd. That's the problem. He'll come out blazing fast. Now you see him starting to slow down a bit because he's gassed from expending a whole lot of energy, but he typically fights for the crowd and to the crowd. That's a problem.
Unless you're the crowd.
Exactly.
Then you like it. You like a fighter who has all that emotion going through him and wants to be the entertainer.
See, but what happens is
it comes with risk, though.
It does. It comes with a ton
and a
of
lack
risk.
of consistency.
And that's where I'm going to be worried about him.
which is why it's always interesting in how we see the development of these prospects, what we notice, what you notice, and how you see those levels of growth.
He has a slick fighter in front of him. Now we're able to see a lot of mistakes.
Coming to the end of 4.
Time!
Xander Zayas, who signed a contract with Top Rank when he was only 16 years old. 11-time Puerto Rican and U.S. national champion.
Coming back to the same line. Too easy. Tess, if a car is coming directly at you,
yes,
are you going to go back?
No, you're
going to go to the side. You're going to stay on the line of the car. You're going to go to the side.
You make boxing so simple.
I mean, it's simple. Tess, I mean,
Salazar's gaining more and more confidence, and he's landing more and more punches. He's computed the punch of Xander. He believes he can take it. That remains to be seen if he doesn't get caught with something down the stretch. But you see him opening up, and that tells me he's becoming more confident. If you're Xander Zayas, and we use this analogy on these airways about getting in the house, he's got to try a different way. You saw Keyshawn Davis take power off of his punches. That's what Xander Zayas has to learn to do. Pick up his jab, throw a hard jab, then throw a flicking jab. Feint, feint. Throw a shot that's not too hard. Allow Salazar to get comfortable, and then boom, land a big shot. These are the different nuances of the game that he has to develop as he climbs the ladder. He'll pick up on it, he'll understand the rhythm, and he'll fight within that.
Going to take a very short break here at the end of 5. Be right back. The live action from MSG. What Teofimo Lopez does on this Heisman night. We will have Jared Anderson, the primed undefeated heavyweight, coming up, and then it's Lopez against Martin. You see the total punches between Zayas and Salazar. Zayas with a 79-57 advantage.
Zayas is not as sharp as I've usually seen him.
Correct.
He is not sharp.
Nope.
In the first round to me.
Some of this is Salazar too. We got to give him a little credit.
I get
as
it.
well.
Yes, I get it. But I'm just saying. What I'm saying is he's not responsible defensively as I've seen him in the past.
Salazar felt very confident that this step up would show that against Zayas. He felt that Zayas has, as he said to us, listen, he's never fought a real fighter. I have respect for him, but this is his first fight against an actual guy who can go. He was very expressive in saying, I came here to win, not just to show up against Xander Zayas, to win.
Big shot right there over the top.
Slipping left hook.
That's a problem.
Defensive flaws tend to be, Timmy.
Well,
right?
the thing is that when you don't feel the punching power coming from your opponent, you'll take a little bit more risk, and you don't really care about defense. You care about just working your offense.
He typically doesn't lead unless it's one big shot, like a left hook. But he wants to block, and then he wants to fire just like that.
Just like that. Block, block, fire, fire.
Good body work right there. Both men exchanging.
And again, both men digging in with left hooks right to the belt line. And Zayas ties up. Two rounds to go here. Lomachenko. And tonight we will see Teofimo Lopez, who is making his 8th appearance at this property. Round number 7, Xander Zayas, the undefeated prospect with all the support from the Puerto Rican fight fans, getting a test tonight against Salazar.
See, that space in between can be used and dominated. Whoever wants to shoot that jab out there. You know, I look at a lot of things, Tess. I mean, first half you see Xander coming out really fast. He had some pop on his shots. Now, seemingly, he doesn't have pop on his punches right now.
There's Jared Anderson, the heavyweight. He's going for his 13th straight knockout in moments. He has stopped 9 of the 12 opponents within 2 rounds.
a certain kind of way, and it typically will get the job done. Tonight, it's not getting done that same way. He's faced with some resistance, and I haven't seen him make that next adjustment. That's the problem, I think, tonight for Xander Zayas. And we say problem while he's winning every round.
Exactly.
The problem in order to stop a guy like Salazar.
The problem is down the road, Dre. That's the problem. Because if he fights this way against top-notch competition, I know he's just at the beginning stages. That's where the problem lies. Making too many mistakes.
Well, I think he's fine.
I think he will.
I think he's fine, but he has to continue to grow and develop.
Yes.
Speaking of guys who are very much a problem, you don't have to wait long to see one of the very best in the world. This is going to be Tuesday morning on ESPN Plus at 6 a.m. sharp. So if you're on the East Coast, grab your coffee and watch Naoya Inoue and Paul Butler. This is for the undisputed championship of the world at 118 pounds. Of course, Inoue, many have him #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. ESPN.com right now has him #2. He is AKA the Monster. Pound for pound, arguably the most powerful puncher in the sport, is coming Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Plus. Who would shine the most? Who would have a challenge? And we are seeing Xander Zayas with a challenge here as we have reached the 8th and final round. He's up on the punch stats according to CompuBox. Had a 19 and 12 connect advantage in that 7th round, 114 to 82 overall. 8th and final round.
Zayas has an asserted effort to try to get this stoppage in his last round. Salazar doesn't seem to want to play along.
Punching between punches.
Yep. And Salazar's doing something that many of Xander's opponents don't do. Going down to his body. Oh, nice
opening up wide. This is good stuff right in the middle of the ring right now. Look at Salazar and Zayas just willing to trade. Crowd is loving it here at MSG.
A lot of picture taking right now by both men. Both are exhausted.
They let their hands go in the first minute of this 8th round.
I think they deserve that breather.
Yep. Let themselves out for a bit.
But I mean, you can try to control that space in between to be able to set up offense.
Every time to get out of harm's way, even if your opponent doesn't throw. Those are 3 elements that he's got to go home and work on.
The last is the most critical.
But that's crazy.
Because that can send you off the rails.
Look, that's crazy because that's what I liked about him. And tonight he's not.
But this is the kind of fight you need.
Hands are free.
If you're gonna, you say go back to the drawing board and improve. Improve on what? He's got some things to improve on and go back to the gym and work on after this fight. He needs a Salazar in order to graduate to the next level.
As soon as he heard the clap, he let those hands go. Let's see if they trade right to the final bell. Goes the distance, Zayas and Salazar.
For your winner by unanimous decision, and now the NABF and NABO Junior Middleweight Champion, Xander Zayas!
Scheduled trade for April 1st to be a co-feature underneath Robeisy Ramirez, Isaac Dogbe in their featherweight title fight.
In the dressing room, I want you to obey the command to protect yourselves at all times. Right now, it's going to be under the letters here. Right now, it's going to be under the gold. Tap it up, it's going to work.
But then a training. I had a conversation with Xander yesterday. Listen, he's only 20 years old, undefeated 15-0, but he said, listen, sometimes your body tells you you need a rest.
It's a mature thing to say, and it's the right thing to say.
Ronald Cruz started his career 16-0, suffered a loss in 2015. Never been stopped as a pro. What do you make of Cruz as an opponent at this stage of development for Zayas?
I think it's a good training camp. The fight's been off and on, off and on. He said, I never stopped training for this fight. And he's come to win. We talk to fighters in the fighter meeting, and sometimes we get the sense they're trying to convince themselves. I didn't get that sense with Cruz.
I got this. Oh, there's a big right hand from Zayas. Zayas.
Start. Good jabs. That's what set everything up. And he took a nice slip to the right, avoided the jab of Cruz, and landed a beautiful counter shot right there. That lets you know that Xander Zayas is poised, he's within himself, and he's watching, and he took full advantage of the mistake from Cruz right there. quick shot, quick sequence. Good solid shot to the chest from Cruz. Good shot right there.
The jab to the body, then went upstairs with the right hand. There's the uppercut with the left hook to the body combination.
Getting just enough, 1s and 2s, maybe 2s and 3s, and not getting greedy too early.
Probing with that long jab. He's got a great frame at junior middleweight. Giving levels to that jab, goes to the body again with it.
I like everything that Zayas is doing before he punches, the feints, the head movements. One of the knocks on him is that he keeps his chin and his head in the position.
Back in December of last year. This is his second consecutive Madison Square Garden appearance, and I remember that being a point of emphasis in your analysis the last time.
And that was actually something that Cruz, his opponent, mentioned in the fighter meeting. So let's see if he can take advantage.
Round for Xander Zayas, back off the injury, off some delays, goes to the body, works it back upstairs on a 4-punch combination. But the right hand sparked things early on here in round number 1. Oh, and he comes with a left hook on the back end of that combination.
Yeah, that body shot before that was mean.
Doubling up the left.
That's Cruz's job, is he's tasted the power. He's got to try to find a way in and try to press the young fighter, punch while he's punching. I know that's dangerous. Or punching that an opponent can do is if they're trying to test a young fighter, just to lay back and accept what's coming their way.
There's that uppercut left hook again. Ronald Cruz, the 31-year-old, the veteran. When he turned pro, Zayas was only 12 years old. Combination finishes with a left to the body. Cruz shakes it off.
First jab from Cruz.
3-punch combination, left hook finishes it again. Coming from the nose now of Cruz. Ate that big right hand in round number 1, just 30 seconds into the fight. Again, break here at the end of 2. When we come back, we will get Max Kellerman's thoughts on Taylor and Teofimo. Don't go anywhere.
Significant fight in the history of this era of boxing, and it promises fireworks.
No doubt about it, Max Kellerman. You think about the signature win in Lopez's career against Vasily Lomachenko and the great stretch that Josh
just concede with getting hit with shots to the body and on the gloves, because Xander Zayas can do this for the full 8 rounds.
And the other thing, through your gloves. He's punching to your gloves and still doing damage to your arms and to you.
He's strong enough and he's accurate enough, as you just saw right there, to keep doing that all night long. Accurately to the body and to the head. So what comes to your mind is, if I get hit clean with that shot, I don't know what's going to happen. But he hasn't discouraged Cruz. Cruz is still coming forward.
Cruz comes forward, trying to get a right hand to the body against Zayas. This grossing boxing event in MSG history, this World Championship fight coming your way. Moments ago, we saw Ronald Cruz pick up his work rate a bit in round number 3. So that
doing that because Zayas is picking up the pace.
Bernardo, what are you hearing out of the corners?
On the side of...
Well, the trainer is seeing the same thing we're seeing.
Wrapping around with that right hand and puts the right to the body underneath that left elbow. Right hand lands short on the inside from Zayas.
Cruz should be firing that right hand almost every time after Zayas throws, because Zayas brings the left hand low. He's not protecting his chin or his temple, and Cruz needs to throw.
3-punch combination from Cruz. Doubles up the jab, goes to the body yet again. It's been successful to the body already. 32 body connects for Xander Zayas as we're down in round number. Let's see the power punches landed. per round, a 59-17 edge there for Xander Zayas. Dre, remember ago, Puerto Rican Day Parade weekend, always a moment where, especially a prospect like Zayas, that's a big day on his boxing calendar. But remember, he was suffering a huge difference sometimes when you see the physicality.
It can be, and not come with you to the higher weight class. Can't fully explain it, other than to say that you're facing bigger guys who are walking around when they're not fighting at a heavier weight, and punch doesn't have the same impact. That's what we're all waiting to see with Teo. Does the power carry to 140?
He does like this building, although his most recent effort was a bit uninspiring, the win back on December 10th against the...
You got to figure it out, right? You got to figure it out. Every fight's not going to be great. It's going to be ugly nights. But the thing that concerns me about Lopez mentally is he doesn't own the night for what it was. There's excuses being made. So that tells me you're not improving, you're not getting better. And then, oh, you're ready to fight Josh Taylor next. My question is, have you gotten better?
The mental side of things, always a question with Teofimo Lopez. We will dig into that, as Mark Kriegel has an amazing story and access he had with Teofimo and his father this week. So we'll join Mark in just prior to the World Championship fight coming up.
Cruz landed another right hand right there. Again, you may say that's it. That's encouraging when you've been hit as much as Cruz has been hit. He needs to throw more, because one shot may get through and cause some damage.
And a 5. Josh Taylor, who's the best of the best at 140 pounds, will put his crown on the line against Teofimo Lopez. That world title fight is coming your way soon. 91-40, you just saw the connect advantage for Xander Zayas.
Couple things with Xander Zayas that I see in some of his fights, and I'm seeing it here, is that he comes out strong, and if that first onslaught doesn't work, you sort of, the veteran that he is, he's not an elite guy, but he's smart enough to know that, okay, I know the trajectory of his punches, I know how he's going to throw it, and that's why you see him for so long that we can do these workouts in our sleep. You got to make sure you keep the young fighter stimulated so he can continue to learn. Good shot right there from Zayas to the body.
Boy, and he finished with that left hook to the body. Turned the left hand into an uppercut as well.
But Cruz can... That's also something in Zayas that can be improved with shadow boxing. You can be as creative. Zayas is saying, okay, I've done everything. I've shown you what I got. Now I got to... You see him thinking, trying to figure out what to do. And you just want to Cruz, I step on the gas. It's okay for him to take some risk.
As soon as he just opened up there, Zayas threw back.
He got disciplined.
That's right. Closing moments of round number 6. 2 rounds to go here, and then it's the world title fight.
Got to have reasons, multiple reasons, to get into this ring and fight in front of the world. And sometimes that extra motivation that you have, someone like a Buchanan who paved the way for you and now he's gone, sometimes I'm all for it. Good shot right there. A left uppercut followed by a left hook from Xander Zayas.
And Xander really trying to drive down that right hand.
Doesn't look like Cruz has much steam on his punches at this point. Throwing, but he doesn't have bad intentions behind them. But Xander Zayas.
Again, 3-punch combination, finishes with the left hook. Oh, that was a good combination. And then a straight right split the guard at the end of those 4.
Heavy shot, heavy.
This or that. The guy won all 4 belts. He never lost them in the ring. 19-0 Josh Taylor. Vacated 3 of the belts just to get a fight that he wanted. And here he is getting a real big name in Teofimo Lopez at this place. There's a right hand that drives Cruz back. And Zayas in control here. Closing moments of round 7 as he's... Another right hand. 8th and final round between Zayas and Cruz. Remember, he came out to that ring walk. Sung by
position. So why not step on the gas and close strong if you're Zayas?
through the 8th round, and to know that Cruz has already absorbed 125 power punches, you can understand why Willis is given that look.
Mean left hook to the body.
Consistently, Dre. He's
Mean
landed
left hook
6.
That's what Cruz is going to be feeling for the next 3 or 4 days. More than any headshot, it's the body shots to the left and the right side.
How do you explain that feeling to the layman, Dre?
I don't like it. Let's see if how he can close.
2-punch combination to the head.
Hands are free. Work it out.
And Cruz should be punching right with him.
That's where the opportunity lies. Instead, that high guard covering up, and he eats, and he takes more. Good offensive performance tonight from Xander Zayas. Still some things to work on, Dre says, on the other aspects of the game, as well as varying up the punches and the pace. But exactly what you would expect from Xander Zayas against a 31-year-old veteran, an 18-win veteran.
And still, the NABF and NABO junior middleweight champion, Xander Zayas.
Aquí está bien. ¿Alguna pregunta? Toquen los guantes si quieren, salimos a la campana.
Forever, yes, he's 21. Yes, he's graduating from prospect to contender, but every step of the way has been scrutinized. Where is he now? Zayas was only 7 years old when Jorge was turning pro.
14 years experience. That's a lot of experience. He's a 12-round fighter. And he's coming into this battle.
It happened back at the end of April back home in Madrid, Spain. This is now for Jorge his 2nd fight in the U.S. Last fought in the U.S. in Vegas in 2019, and he lost a 12-round decision.
His legs look strong. He seems like he's hitting a lot harder now, sitting down more on his punches. That jab, that's a power jab. That's what you're
There's a clash of heads on the inside as both men came forward with right hands.
But right now, what he's trying to do, he's trying to counterpunch the young man. He's waiting on a mistake. He's looking for a mistake from Xander.
Body shot, finish that combination, and it scores a knockdown. Oh, a well-placed body shot by Xander.
Xander Zayas was able to place this body shot. You see Fortea right there unleashing the combination, and you see the small little seam in there. You see being able to punch in between. You have to be calm. You have to be patient to be able to see that opportunity, to be able to land a shot like that right in the solar plex.
See the total punches in the first round, a 14-3 connect advantage. 8 power punches, including that knockdown scored with the left to the body.
Trust me, it's still sensitive right now. And that's exactly what he's doing right now, Tess. Young man's looking spectacular right now.
In front of his home fans. A right hand clipped him that time. Just trains and lives. Backs him up in his corner, goes back with the left hand, partially blocked by that right elbow of Fortea. Sweeps around with an overhand right.
See, Fortea can't match the output right now for the young gun, but what he's trying to do, he's trying to depend on timing. Fortea is physically strong.
Oh, good right hand. Right hand comes in from Xander. The double jab, but then Zayas is right on top of him again. And now he comes into that pocket and he digs with the left hand to the body again. 8-8 connect advantage, having scored the knockdown in round number 1 against Fortea. Short right hand as he created just a little separation. There was not the break from Sam Rogos.
Yes, he did, Tess.
Trying to work behind the jab with a sweeping right hand that's off the mark. 3-punch combination. Sold out crowd chanting Puerto Rico for Xander here, and then Robesi Ramirez in our title fight.
Good combinations right there. The 1-2. There it is again. Got perfectly timed over the top right there from right hand from Fortea.
That right hand got in around the corner. He's being outgunned to this point as we come to the end of 3. Heisman night. Great tradition. following the WBC Junior Welterweight title fight that's taking place elsewhere on another network. Regis Prograis and Devin Haney. Devin Haney, the recent undisputed lightweight champion.
Tess Forte has taken a lot of damage. There's a lot of swelling around his eyes. That inchwell does wonders.
Forte was trying to roll with it. Another body punch comes in. Left uppercut splits the guard from Zayas.
When you see a head trainer be a cut man also, it's cutting corners, but it's saving the fighter money. You don't have to worry about the 2%.
Yeah, but you got to win a fight.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Choose your poison, Tess. Choose your poison.
Another combination on the live money line for Xander Zayas. Told us yesterday, he said, it's time to put on a show, Timmy. He said, I'm ready.
He has to get aggressive. He has to make a choice.
Let the hands go.
He has to let his hands go. Anytime he let his hands go, they will find their way home. It's not like Xander is running. He's not moving anywhere.
There's your second knockdown of the night.
I missed it. I looked at you, Tess. Is that the body shot?
It was a body shot, Timmy, and it was devastating.
There it is.
This fight is over.
Brilliant.
2 for 2, going to the body and seal it for Xander Zayas in front of his home fans.
I missed it. Now I'm looking at it now. Nice jab right there. You see him set it up. Beautiful shot right there. Double left hook. He went to the head. He opened the door. Here it is. Head. Snuck it right behind the guard. Beautiful shot right there.
And still the NABO and NABF junior middleweight champion, Xander Zayas.
Todo el tiempo. Gave you the instructions in the dressing room. I expect a good, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times.
Of Zayas' time. Not a single one has outlanded him in connected punches in Zayas' career. And 71 rounds as a pro.
Dominate that position on the outside. Will more than likely be able to land a power shot, Tess.
Zayas firing off that right hand on the inside moments ago, getting the crowd's attention.
21 years old, Tess. He's been waiting on his entire career. You know, the pressure can either make you or break you, Tess. We're going to see how he's going to deal with this pressure tonight.
There's that right hand as Teresora was posting with his southpaw jab.
Yeah, and Xander kind of lunged with that right hand. That's
Finish that three-punch combination with that left hook to the body.
Left hook to the body.
So he scores getting underneath the elbow, and now gives a level change with the right hand going to the body as well.
Again, foot placement, extremely important.
Para la campana.
End of one.
From the young Xander Zayas.
And they'll get that real estate on the inside here early on in round number 2. There's a right hand. Oh, the young guy's finding his rhythm.
Yeah, but he's still got to be careful.
Teresora trying to pick up the pace a little bit, return some fire just so he has something to respect.
Yep.
Short right hand from Xander, and then he goes to the body, places that left hand there again.
Teresora just standing in front right now. He's covering up. He's battling, Tess. He's trying to do as much as he possibly can right now to fend off the younger, faster, quicker Xander Zayas. But he just seems to be a bit outgunned tonight. Orthodox fighters' angles, but Orthodox fighters are not used to the southpaw angles. That's the advantage that southpaw sometimes have.
Good combination from Xander.
Good shot right there from Teresora.
He went to the body himself.
He dug downstairs too. Been between time training camps. Tess, he should be physically strong tonight.
And Zayas stepping on the gas for a moment. Doubling up the left hand on the inside was Teresora. Zayas comes back with the right hand.
Para la campana.
There's that left hook.
Right hand to the body, right on the belt line. Smothers him with an uppercut. Remember the big uppercut that he landed in round number 1.
A little bit too early. And you're able to capitalize on those mistakes. But you see how Teresora, he's keeping that lead hand. He's keeping it glued down to his body. And a looping shot. But
that does come with some risk, though.
But what I'm saying is,
end of 4.
It just seems like he's somewhat of a shell of himself.
There's no doubt about that. On 5th Avenue today. I don't know if you saw the way he walked in with his new duds. Here we are, round number 5. Xander Zayas in complete control. The 21-year-old undefeated fighter. Mark Kriegel, how do you see it?
The same Patrick Teixeira who beat Carlos Adames. It's also Xander Zayas' first professional test against the southpaw. And it's not just about Teixeira being old. He's making him look old. He's making his punches look wide. He's making his punches look slow. He said he would be disappointed if he doesn't take him out in 6. And right now,
the activity has picked up from Xander Zayas, letting his hands go. Teixeira's doing everything he can to evade and get away. And Xander seems to be off balance. You know, I've seen a lot of positions where Xander is vulnerable. You know, letting his hands go, getting a little bit too excited. He needs to take his time, set up his attacks. It seems to me he's rushing things at times. See, look, he's playing the game right now. Moving his body, upper body, slipping, sliding. Just buying time.
Yep.
Trying to confuse the young man.
And that's how he approached this entire round. Oh, good right hand that splits the guard.
Good body shot.
A little more pop on these punches from Zayas.
A lot more pop on shots from Zayas. But just well placed again. He's punching where he believes Teixeira is trying to go. So he's cutting off that angle right there by going down to the body with the left hook. And then he's bringing him right back into his right hand. Nice short shot on there from
The right hand sends him back. Teixeira tries to fight his way off the ropes. Back to that southpaw jab.
Para la campana.
Xander's going to have to force that. He's going to have to get busy with his activity, and he's got to get more consistent with his work if he wants to stop Teixeira. But as long as this fight is fought at this pace, he's not going to get the stoppage test.
And when we met with him yesterday,
reaching right there with the right hand. See, this can be a really good thing because if you look at the landscape in this division, you got southpaws. Plenty of southpaws in this division.
Older, she's 21, still growing into it. I mean, we could be seeing a middleweight sooner or later.
Yes. But right now, just judging by what I'm seeing right now, minor difficulty being able to land on the southpaw. Good left hook right there. Although Xander Zayas is winning this fight handily, again, it's about how you do it, Tess, how you look. That's important, especially under these bright lights with the circumstances that's surrounding us right now.
Nice right uppercut that comes in. Then he goes to the body and the follow up. A headshot as well. Works behind the jab. A right hand up top. Xander has him in trouble here. He's on the attack. Headshot after headshot. Now stalking his prey. Teixeira tries to tie up, but he can't.
Must have heard me, Tess.
Zayas goes to the body again. A little bit of blood coming from the nose of Teixeira.
You off, and I buy myself some time because no one likes to get down there in the kitchen, man. No one.
Good punch combination from Zayas.
Good shot.
A lot of punches early on in this round, and now
this might be the beginning of the end right here, Tess.
Tries to press it again in the final 10 seconds.
Expectations. Folks at home, fans, people, we all have expectations. And we're looking for the next Puerto Rican star. Ask yourself that. And look, I understand he's 21 years old. Cotto won a world championship when he was 24. He was 24 years old. So he does have time. Teixeira going in survival mode right now. Trying to get away. Good right hand right there from Xander.
Teixeira plays it off.
Para la campana.
Is circling to the outside. If you cut him off like that and land punches, the referee's going to stop this fight. Let's see if he gets a stoppage here. Good combination, headshots there. Xander digging in, tried to land the uppercut. Teixeira tried to sneak one in on his own. Offensive output from the 21-year-old here. 10th and final round.
Now that's what people want to see.
That version.
Exactly. That's what we want to see. Love the intensity. I love the intent from Xander. I love the fact that he's trying to at least attempt to go for the knockout. Trying to finish this fight strong. Shows he has good lungs. He knows now that I can go 10 rounds. Good right hand.
Long range right hand landing.
And Teixeira is just savvy. I mean, again, using his experience right now. And then nice little, he caught him with that nice little 1-2 from the southpaw position.
They were able to tie that up. Final half minute.
Good.
A full 10 rounds of experience against a former belt holder. Dominated from start to finish. Got a bloody left side of the face of Teixeira. You got dominating CompuBox stats.
And still NABF, NABO junior middleweight champ, Xander Zayas.
Xander Zayas now 19-0.
Obedece mi órdenes todo el tiempo. I gave you the instructions in the dressing room. I expect a good, clean fight. Protect yourselves at all times. Obey my commands at all times.
Undefeated opponents who are combined 46-0. He's been here before. Xander Zayas has never been in a fight against an opponent. Bernardo Osuna and Timothy Bradley with ringside reporter Mark Kriegel coming to you from the theater at MSG in New York City. Zayas has won his first 19 fights as a pro. He went the distance, and it was a fight where Teixeira did not want to engage. Tonight, it will be a different story as you see Sosa land a stiff jab. Already Zayas controlling the work rate of Sosa behind his jab.
Yeah, I mean, it's smart. He's controlling the range and distance. He's controlling the pressure already. Sosa has yet to go. Sosa's choosing to box. I don't understand the game plan. Why are you choosing? Why are you waiting to box and wait on the young fella to be able to set his feet? It's so interesting to me when fighters, they don't be themselves. They come out and they be something completely different than what you saw on camera. Sosa said, I'm more than just a pressure fighter. I get that. However, he was making it rough and tough for the young fighters. I know it's the first round. However,
got a lot of work to do. All right. Our main event features Sandy Ryan defending her welterweight title against Michaela Mayer. Earlier tonight,
Ryan got hit with red paint as she was leaving her hotel to come to the arena. She was livid. She says, not only am I going to fight, I'm going to win. Michaela Mayer claims she's innocent in this situation. We believe her. Mark Kriegel spoke with both fighters once they got here. On foreign soil, and Tim, you won your first world title in the UK against Junior Witter. What is the mindset of both fighters going into this after what happened?
Look, I'm just going to tell you this. You got to expect this type of stuff. You just do.
Even a physical attack?
You got to expect these type of things, and I would say to Sandy Ryan, let it go. Good head movement from Xander Zayas. Also, great jab. He slowed down this pace to a comfortable pace. I like the way he's able to get underneath shots and land. You see that nice little inside counter uppercut on the inside with the left hand. He's able to find offense in between the offense of his opposition.
Punching with Sosa, and he's going to the body early on after establishing the jab. The punch variety from Xander is exceptional so far. So is his defensive responsibility.
Sosa is being defensive responsible. He's feeling the power of Xander Zayas. He doesn't want to run into anything. And that's the reason why he's choosing to box.
We have a scheduled 10-round junior middleweight attraction. Xander Zayas putting his undefeated record on the line in the red trunks trimmed with gold. The Samurai, Damian Sosa, across the ring from Tijuana, Mexico. And so far, Xander Zayas has been able to tame a fighter who averages 85 punches thrown around. Through the first 2 rounds, he threw 73 total punches.
Good technique. Allows you to be efficient with your work. Great distance control from Xander. Nice right hand over the top by him. Understanding his range. Changing levels, going up and down with his jab. Sneaking shots underneath. And you see the counter attempt right there?
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
What I like. I like the eyes. Love the eyes.
And Tim, when you have a fighter who throws more punches, for example, Teixeira came in here to survive from Sosa,
Sosa.
But when you have a fighter who opens up a little more, it also creates opportunities for you, and that's what Xander's seeing as he lands a good shot there.
It does open up opportunities. However, Xander Zayas, he can handle the type of pressure. He's showing us right now that he can handle pressure.
Liver shot there from Xander.
And he snuck it as he was moving backwards, and he placed that liver shot.
And you're talking about a fighter who made his pro debut at 17 years old, was already 4-0 by the time he earned his high school diploma, and Xander Zayas is a student of the game and is taking Sosa to school so far through the first 3.
That left hook is starting to find a home. Xander's finding a home upstairs and downstairs as well.
Ooh, there it is again.
Look at that right hand.
Was clean.
Forward, yes. Nice little comeback counter from, now you're starting to see the tempo shift from Sosa.
There's a nice liver shot from Xander Zayas. Sosa is a fighter who knows how to take a shot, but if you start taking the air out of his tires by going downstairs, Mexico, Puerto Rico in the ring once again here at the theater at MSG. This is Top Rank Boxing on ESPN. And so far through the first 3 rounds, Xander Zayas has landed 21 more total punches. But Tim, the telling number is 21-0 on body shots connected on.
And take the legs of the younger fighter in Zayas. However, Sosa still hasn't thrown a shot downstairs. I don't understand. And what they're thinking about, you know.
And Tim, you have to be true to your identity,
man. I just don't get it.
That was a nice shot there from Xander Zayas.
Like, you got to find a balance that works for you. You're going to be able to get your stuff off. Stay true to yourself, but at the same time, keep yourself safe. But, man, understand the weaknesses of the opposition.
So far, it's so an uncharacteristic performance from Damian Sosa, and a lot of it has to do with
He's not standing right in. He's not standing in front. He's setting up his offense. Level change right there, using that jab to set up his offense. And again, he can't miss with the hook. Sosa right now is out at bay. Don't know how to close the distance right now. He's not moving his head side to side. He's not giving Xander anything. No jab, no flick jab, no feints or anything. So Xander's just able to time him.
Nice left hook there from Xander Zayas. Perfectly timed, well taken by Sosa, but just moments ago I heard the frustration in the corner of Sosa. This is not the fighter they trained for 10 weeks to come to New York.
Too much technical prowess from the young gun. That's what it is.
You see, he's 4-1 with 1 knockout against 5 undefeated opponents who are combined 46-0.
Nice inside slip right there.
But there's levels to undefeated fighters, Tim, and we're seeing that tonight.
Yes, you are. Xander Zayas is putting on the clinic tonight. I like what I'm seeing from Xander. And this is supposed to be his toughest test.
But Tim, who did he just fight? A former world champion.
Yes.
Those rounds that you go against a sneaky, tricky fighter, now you see this is looking easy through 4.
I know we have Xander in front of us, and we still have Sandy and also Mayer tonight, but man, that's a must-watch fella right there. Polanco, he puts it all together. Speed, power, accuracy, and that's what the greats do.
You know who's good at math?
Who?
Mark Kriegel. We want your unofficial scorecard, please, if you would.
Unofficially 40-36, 4 rounds to nothing. His hands are fast, his combinations are varied, his body work is excellent. This is the guy that we've been telling people could be a champion one day.
It's also the right opponent for a fighter like Xander Zayas to shine as he digs to the body of the Mexican fighter, goes downstairs again.
You see that left hook, finding a home from Xander. But yeah, you got a fighter that he's, again, tamed. You got to think about that. Sosa is all gas, no brakes. Xander is making him box.
I mean, he just
making him change his character, making him change his style. You have to understand that. That's how you tame a come-forward fighter. That's exactly how you tame him. Ooh, uppercut.
And acting on it before Sosa has a chance to execute. Nice stiff jab once again from Xander Zayas. Sosa's face is starting to wear down here before we reach the midway point of this fight. Breathing from the mouth. A nice left there from Sosa as his corner says, let your hands go.
Good defense, good angles right there from Xander.
Oh, nice right uppercut from Xander, but then he takes 2 from Sosa.
Very well, he's pivoting in spots.
And landing the first clean shot before Sosa is able to land a shot of his own. Landed 118 punches to 41 for Damian Sosa. That is a difference of 77, but he's thrown 100 punches more.
I mean, he hasn't went down there. It should have been from round 1.
Matter of fact, his legs just buckled a little bit as they came together.
That he's learned how to do is a special skill, I should say. You know, excellent defense can enhance your offensive capabilities, and you're seeing it here. Gives you more opportunities. You got to think about it this way. You know, when you're in football, the quicker the defense gets off the field, guess what? The offense has more opportunity to score. You give them more time.
Comes away with a knockout in a fight that Xander looked spectacular. He says, keep going to the body. You can see Sosa's hands are dropping. And once they get low enough, we got to come up with an overhand right and finish it with a hook.
And we just saw that overhand right that didn't connect cleanly, but the idea is there. Now the execution has to come from Xander.
Sosa got a hard hit.
Nice left hook
that
too
was
from Xander.
But Sosa got a hard hit. He ain't never been stopped before.
True.
If you're going to stop somebody with a hard hit, trust me, you got to go downstairs. You have to hurt them downstairs to the limit.
Gets the admonishment to pick it up. And Tim,
timing and technique beats all. I'm letting y'all know right now, timing and technique.
All right, well, timing and technique will be part, I'm sure, of your lab as we look ahead to tonight's main event. Mikaela Mayer.
See, you know, we talk about, I was talking about timing and technique, right? You know, we talk about how great power is. Power, power, power. He can land a shot, he can land a shot, but you gotta have a place to land it. You know, if you don't give him that place to land it, then how effective is power? You know, speed, the same thing. You know, you can be effective, but again, you have to get in the right range. And the only way you can do those things is good footwork, timing, and also great technique. And that's what you're seeing with Xander Zayas.
Xander putting it all together tonight against a fighter who was supposed to come in here of Damian Sosa from the jump.
Got him bagging up too. Look at him. Got him bagging up along the rope. Sosa still trying to figure it out.
Nice shot on the biceps, and then that opens up a body shot for Xander Zayas.
Nice roll. Nice short uppercut on the inside.
I mean, those are punishing body shots that set up that left hook to the chin from Xander Zayas.
Hard time hitting the elusive young fighter Zayas.
But he's elusive while being there, Tim. He's right in front of him.
Yes.
But he's making him miss everything.
Half a step back. And there's times you see Xander where he's taking a little bit more chances when you don't have to. But I like it. He's trying to get more aggressive.
I mean, when you're able to land a lead uppercut, Tim, to start the round, that tells you what kind of rhythm you're in.
Nice
and
shot.
then you continue to make your opponent miss and land an uppercut of your own. Ooh, and now the power shots.
Let's see if he can figure it out. Because he has Sosa right now. He has him on that lane. That lane, you know what that lane is. He's near the exit. He's near the exit. Yep, he's near the exit.
Xander Zayas could show him.
Let's see if he can pull it off.
Nice body shot. I think that's the shot that's going to end the fight if it's going to end. It's a shot to the liver. 2 of 48 landed body shots. That means that Xander has landed 3 more body shots than his opponent has attempted. And just the controlling of range, the way he spun him.
Spun him right there.
Nice body shot again. That was to the solar plexus.
Punishing.
He's just breaking him down.
Breaking him down. Latino, because if he was, he would have went down to the body, man. Because you know the Mexican fighters, they go down to the body, man.
You know what happened?
What happened?
Nice 1-2. Zayas, though, answers with the same combination. He gets the better of it.
Nice bump right there. Getting physical on the inside. Another bump. There's, ooh, nice shot right there from Sosa.
I'm telling you, Sosa, if he did this earlier on, at some point he's got to sell out. Ever signed by Top Rank at age 16. Damian Sosa, at 27 years old, Tim, was supposed to come in and ask some questions.
Yeah, he's not asking questions. Not at all. Very polished, very comfortable with the pressure.
Ooh, nice counter right from Sosa, who's 3-0 in his 4 fights in the U.S., but that streak is at stake tonight and in danger against Zayas.
Yeah, nice head movement on the inside from Xander. Good head movement, great defense after his offense.
That stab jab to the body working well for Xander.
Never been stopped.
Yeah, but Tim, it's 140 punches advantage in terms of total landed for Xander to the body. That'll wear you down.
Yeah, and it has. Big shot right there. Nice. But you know, look, Xander's not going to be that one-punch knockout guy.
We've known that. Or will he have to move to 60 because he was...
I think he will eventually move up. He's still growing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nice body shots there from Xander Zayas. Nice combination. I mean, it's just anything Sosa tries to do, he's telegraphing, and Zayas has the cheat code.
And he's slow.
Yeah.
Sosa's slow. Very predictable. Fundamentals are terrible.
At this point, all you see from Sosa, though, are arm punches, so I don't see the same power.
Ooh, nice right hand. That right hand.
New York City as he takes on Damian Sosa from Tijuana, Mexico. Not a cab driver, Tim, but not the fighter we expected.
Well, it's the fighter that's in front of him. That's the difference. Yeah. The major difference. I mean, he came out with his mind made up that, hey, I'm going to have to box this young fella. That's fine. That's fine. You know, you hit your opposition with his best shot. You broke him down to the body. You did everything you possibly can. It's okay you don't get him out of there. Some guys just not meant to be knocked out. Sosa's one of those guys as of right now.
Yeah, in all of his fights, and we're talking about 27 as a pro, he's lost 2 of them, but he's never been stopped or dropped. So there's a reason that he's putting up this resistance. It's not a reflection on Zayas, it's a reflection on how tough Damian Sosa is.
And again, it's how Xander's doing it tonight. I thought this was going to be a very tough battle for him. I thought Sosa was going to be in his chest and bagging him up and making him ask questions and taking a deep breath, you know. High tempo, high work rate. He came into this match throwing 80, 85 punches a round.
And you know how many he's landed so far this fight?
How much has he thrown?
He's only thrown 450, but he's only landed 64.
And again, when you have great defense, it's going to open up opportunities for you with the offense. But look, he's landing shots like that, then he goes ahead and walks away, just changing his position. I would love him to step around and then fire his combinations afterwards, because he changes his position, and as his opposition is turning with him and resetting his position, he has an opportunity to land something.
He did tell us that he was not going to allow Sosa to set his feet. Sosa's setting his feet here in the 10th round because Xander's right in front of him.
Yeah, Xander's choosing to stand there.
Absolutely.
Xander can keep the fight on the outside, but he doesn't feel threatened right now.
Taking it to the final bell as Damian Sosa continues that streak of never being stopped in 28 professional fights, but this one may be loss number 3.
And still, the NABF and NABO Junior Middleweight Champion, Xander Zayas.